Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to the Comic Book Talk podcast for April 23rd, 2020. 2020, whatever you want to say. However you say it, whatever. I'm Chris Adams, the Taking Master, joined by.
What day is it?
It's Thursday,
Thursday? What month are we in?
April.
Oh my God. Last time I
Yeah,
looked, it was
it
like
feels
still
like
March.
5,000 years, but it hasn't been 5,000
Oh,
years.
oh no. This is Buff Larkin. The 58-hour a week man plus still working because apparently I'm essential. And yeah, days are just flying by and molding together. And one day you're telling a guy melting crayons in your exit to sniff the toxic fumes. You're telling him to get out of there, out of your store, and then the next you're chasing another guy who in the store because because he's just doing something wrong too. It's like, oh, you say, hey, buddy, stop stealing stuff. Oh yeah, you're walking up to somebody and they're putting stuff in. They got a basket and they go down the one aisle and they pick the spot and it's the spot where everybody likes to steal stuff because you always find the empty basket in it. So you walk by and there's a woman putting stuff in a bag. You say, hey, what you doing? Oh, I'm just putting stuff in my bag. Oh, okay, that's no problem. Are you gonna pay for that cheesecake that you put in your bag and the steak? Oh yeah, oh yeah. And so then you follow her up to the front, and then she puts the stuff that was still in her basket on the till. And they say, "Oh, don't forget about that stuff you put in your bag." Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot. And so she goes and grabs puts the other stuff and says, "Hey, remember that cheesecake we talked about that you put in your bag? Oh, I didn't take nothing. Okay, guys, see, look, take a look at your bag." And then hilarity ensues.
Have you ever seen the show Superstore?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
I've heard about it. But it seems like it's the office set in a grocery store.
Yeah,
Am I right?
it's very interesting after having worked in retail for so long to like see something like that, and I was like, this is interesting.
Now, is there a character on the show where where he saves up all of his money, he hates all of his coworkers, and then finally one day says, "F you, I'm going to Canada."
No.
Oh, good. You would have been able to sue him then. That's it, and make even more money and be able to ride out this coronavirus that we're dealing with. All right, now, Tekken, I how educated are you? And I'm at now. I'm not going to be rude about it because I know you went to college, and you went and you studied the female anatomy. I understand that, um, but um, it- do you say coronavirus or do you say COVID-19? Because there's a big difference.
I
All right.
say both, but lately I've been using COVID-19.
Very good. Do you know who says the coronavirus?
No.
Republicans in Florida.
Okay.
I ain't afraid no coronavirus. And when you say coronavirus, you just kind of talk coronavirus and like that. And so, but if you say COVID-19, you say it like what we're talking about right now. But that's where you can decide the difference right there. Hey, you want to go to the beach?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can in Florida. I love the fact that one day on my dying bed, all right, which who knows, could be next week. I'm listening to these podcasts and I'm going, man, what the heck are we talking about? Not being able to go to beaches or COVID-19, all right, or the coronavirus. I'll still be doing that, and just say, what the heck were we doing in 2020? It's just gonna be crazy, absolutely. Um, Canada seems to be so far spared a good chunk of the worry. You Americans are picking up the slack when it comes to people getting it. So thanks a lot for that. But Canada, we're getting some. We're getting some. I thought we'd be just as bad as you guys, but so far we're handling it okay. People are listening. I like it. I do go out running. I go out running, and when I see somebody on the sidewalk, I always run to the other side of the street. So there's more chance of me getting hit by a car running across the street than actually giving somebody the coronavirus. So that's always good. But yeah, but I'm an essential worker. I work in a grocery store. I deal with a whole bunch of stuff every day. I've gotten down my the way I deal with it. It's simple. You gotta keep your hands washed. That's the key. So you drink a water, you go to the bathroom, you wash your hands. You go back, you drink water, you go to the bathroom, you wash your hands. You drink water, go to the bathroom, wash your hands. Drink water, go to the bathroom, wash your hands. And you do that for 10 hours straight, and then you're set. And because I'm an old man now, my bladder doesn't hold it. So literally, it's almost every 30 minutes. So it's fantastic. No, I'm just kidding. But I do drink a lot. Well, I always drank a lot of water. But it's just like you drink the water and you go and you make sure you wash your hands up nice, good. You throw the antibacterial stuff on your hands when you're done, and bing, bang, boom, you're good. And you have to when you work 58 hours a week.
Do you
You do.
have your electromask from the Daredevil Netflix show? Just put your shirt over your face.
No, no, but that's a great idea. Being that well, we do have like if we want to, we have the face shields, and you can wear masks, and you can wear gloves and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. Some I my job sometimes is to, as I like to call it, work the line. If there's a line up at the outside of the store, you go out there, you say, okay, sorry folks, we're a bit busy in there, you're all good. But we'll get you in as soon as possible. So you're outside, you're staying away from everybody. It's a good gig. Uh,
It's a good.
it's a good gig. But at the same time, 99% of them are good. The 1% makes you appreciate the 99%. Like it's just a wonder. And the best part is, and I'll tell you this is the only thing I'll tell you about the line, is that even in these trying times, there are still some very thirsty people out there. And
Thirsty as in drinking, or thirsty as in hello there?
I wouldn't be telling the story if they were thirsty in the drinking sense. So I'm working the line. And you have to. You gotta put it, because there's other stores, right? So they can't be blocking other stores. So I have to put a little kink in the line and all that. And you know me. I'm doing my comedy routine and all that, right? So I go and then if there's always one person left in line, I always say, you know something? One is the loneliest number. Get inside, and then they all laugh and giggle. Anyways, this blonde girl goes into the store, and there's guys waiting in line further down. She goes in, grabs some stuff, and then she comes and she leaves. And she's got a whole she's got some alcohol, because we do sell beer and wine at our store. So she leaves, and then all of a sudden, Buddy from line goes, Hey, you want some help drinking drinking that stuff?" And that guy's at a pickup line, and we're looking at him going, "Dude, what are you doing?" And the woman just looks back at him, and then just goes back to her car going, "Oh, you got shot down in front of everybody." It's like, oh, it's like, buddy, call your shot and pick your time, but that's not the time to call it. It's like, oh, you're waiting in a line to get into a store during a universal, I'm sure it's universal now, universal pandemic, and he decides, "Hey baby," oh no, the line, "Hey baby, is some of that for me?" Like I there's better times in
Actually,
this.
it's funny
That's
that
all
you
I'm
said
saying.
universal, because it's like it makes me think of all the times that you said like I should go live in the mountains or something. It's like this would be the perfect time to just like be off the grid, and
Yep.
like I would have been not even
Yep.
known.
Yep. Yep. But guess what? When that bear is humping you, that bear might have coronavirus, and that'd be the last thing on your mind. But he probably would be now, because now there's
Oh.
two cats in New York City who have it. There's two house cats that have been tested for the coronavirus. My question is, I know now what you have to do to be tested for the coronavirus. How are you getting a cat to stick around while you shoot a swab down up its nose in the back of its throat? Who figured that out? Who figured that test out for the coronavirus? Okay,
Maybe they
let's just
just
say,
like had a thingy, and it like cross referenced with everything, and it's like, oh, positive for COVID-19.
yeah. Oh, look. Let's look inside your throat. Say, okay. I can see your throat's inflamed. No, here, let's take a big giant swab and shove it up your back of your nose like they did in Egypt, when that's how they did the esophagus, right? They put the hook up your nose and they drag and they
The
pull your
brain.
brain out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Well, some doctor out there said, well, you know something, the best way to find out if this is true is to stick a swab up your nose and in the back of your throat and hold it there for 15 minutes. Now, here's my thing. All right, or hold it there for a certain amount of time. I'm not quite sure that part because I don't even want to think about it. To be honest with you, how, even if it's 1 minute, how do you how do you keep that up there for 14 minutes? Is some masochist made up this whole thing. I bet you it doesn't even really tell anything. And if you're American, you pretty much got it anyways. It doesn't really matter. But especially if you're in Florida, like can't like I explain to me. You're an American, Tekken. You are an American.
Explain to me.
You don't like your country, but you're an American, and you already got your bags packed. You're waiting for November 2020. If the results come down, then
Oh,
you're well,
dude,
pretty
don't
much.
even get me started. I was hoping
Oh, we
we would
are.
avoid the whole Joe Biden thing, dude, because like I'm heated.
We're
I'm
not.
so effing heated on that. Just like I'm still bitter. I will always be bitter, and just like it's like I will always be an independent now. After what they
No, you're not.
pulled the day
No,
before
you're
Super
not.
Tuesday, it's like everybody's on the debate stage, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna stay until the convention. I'm gonna stay until the convention, and it's like, magically the stars align, and it's like, oh, I'll just suspend my campaign, and I endorse Joe. Oh, yeah, he won one state, and we're all just gonna get behind him because yeah, South Carolina, whatever.
He won 3 states.
Yeah.
No, you won a whole bunch of states. Anyways, I won't talk about Joe Biden until we're done talking about coronavirus. Don't jump ahead of me. All right, we're gonna have fun with this today. So yeah, so it's I since you're an American and you don't like being there, what is the thought process in Kansas as opposed to Florida? How big of a difference is there? I know there's no beaches in Kansas. There's just tornadoes. So, but what do you see as a big shift? Do you see yourself? Do you still see that same thinking in Kansas as you're seeing on the news in Florida?
Well, I don't watch the local news, so honestly, I
Oh,
kind of like
why
don't,
would you?
and I like
You,
don't go
you're,
outside. I haven't been outside since like last month, so
yeah, you're watch. Yeah.
I have no idea. I would imagine, it's just a personal take. It's like you're either obeying the guidelines and just like sheltering in place and self quarantining and hunkering down, or you're just like whatever, dude, and going outside and touching doorknobs and touching your face, and you're like, oh, nothing's gonna happen to me. And then, and then a week later, you're on a ventilator in a hospital. It's like, oh, should have listened.
Mm, mm. Wow. I never knew you were so heartless. You hate everybody. Have you heard any scrapings on your door yet?
Scrapings
Like,
on my door? No.
yeah. Because you got this whole zombie thing going well, as long as you could live on mandarin oranges. How much weight have you lost?
Oh, dude, I was down to 130, and
Oh,
then
yeah. Well, the
and
mandarin
then, and
diet.
then I ordered pizza, and I wasn't.
Wait a minute. You ordered a pizza.
I ordered more than one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You ordered a pizza made by people using their
No,
hands.
but it's like
Put the top. No, no, but no, you listen to me for a second. Putting top. I heard your rant. Now you're gonna hear my rant. And they're putting toppings on, and they're sweating because it's so hot all over the pizza, and they're giving it to you, Mister. I kept away from the coronavirus. Why didn't you just have them by knife point
Hey,
and
hey,
some don't
I
sweat? Oh,
have limitations, and I have cravings. All right, I'm a pizzatarian. Like I can't go like that long without pizza. It had been over a month, dude. It's like at some point I'm gonna reach a breaking point. Okay, it's like, you know,
I think you did that a long time ago.
it's like there are things I could go without for a long time, and it had been like a month, dude. And it's like I'm getting emails and I'm seeing like ads on social media of like pizza, pizza, pizza. It's like, dude, stop it. Like, I can. It's like I can only take so much before I crack. Okay, it's like
Okay, well, let's just say this: it's a good thing that you're not addicted to other things that can make you get out of the house. So that's good. Number two, number two. Where's my women? Get my Tinder up. Like my picture of my knife. I'm a dangerous man. Anyways, number two is what do you like having on your pizza?
just cheese, just plain old cheese. That's my main thing now. Like they have
Now,
like contactless delivery. They just leave it at your doorstep. It's like they don't even like come within 6 feet of you. It's great. And I just like have my gloves on and then take it and then it's like okay,
and you wipe down the box
yeah.
and you wash the rag.
What?
Well, you got to wipe down the box, right? Because they might have touched it,
I have
and
well,
and,
no,
and you wash the rag because you touched the box.
no, you don't use a rag. What are you talking about? You just use like
Well,
a wipe.
you got okay. That's good. Okay, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm worried about you because nobody like I'm sure your mother's calling you like every day.
Not every day.
Oh, she doesn't like you. Anyway, now she'll be calling me because now I'm an essential worker, and she wants to make sure I'm okay. Because if I'm okay, then I can talk to you. Because I'm the only thing keeping you from going insane. This pandemic this pandemic edition of our podcast is what's keeping you going for the last month now. That and mandarin oranges isn't a healthy thing. But so you haven't been outside. You haven't talked to people. Do
Actually,
you
I went
think you could?
outside a couple days ago to start my car, and that was like it. I haven't left
Wow,
my apartment complex since like the March 12th, so it's been like over a month, and haven't gone anywhere. But I went outside last a couple days ago, so
do you think you could survive the zombie apocalypse now?
I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, how long?
Well, the zombie apocalypse is the apocalypse. I would say, it's a forever thing now, but it depends on how long do you think you can stick it out in that with your mandarin oranges because you don't get much energy. So if you like, I can't even lift my knife anymore. And your pizza, you'd be gone in a month. You'd be dead in a month. You'd be dead in a month. You go right by a pizzeria and you go, "Is there any pizza in there?" And then you'd be gone. You'd be gone. If there was a zombie apocalypse, where would you drive? If you got in your car and you drove
I
somewhere, where
wouldn't
would
get
you
in a
drive?
car because Days Gone has taught me cars are death trap in the apocalypse. So it's all about. Well, I don't know how to drive a motorcycle, but I would like learn how to like scooter or motorcycle in the zombie apocalypse because they allow for more maneuverability and distance and
Scoot,
stuff.
scooter. I can just,
Well,
I
zombies
can,
aren't that fast. So
I can just.
depending on which zombies, if it's 20 days late or not 20 days late, but World War Z zombies, it's like yeah, maybe not so
If
much.
if if those zombies are like that, we're dead. We're done. We're done. If they're like the normal zombies, you got a chance, right? Because you can run for a bit and then get tired, just walk for a bit, and they won't catch up to you because you're still walking kind of fast. So, but where would you scooter to then?
Hmm. I I guess somewhere where it's really cold, or like, because you don't want to be like too remote, because like you gotta have food and like grow like like food in a garden or something, because it's like you're gonna run out of food eventually. It's like you gotta have like a
Mandarin,
supply.
Mandarin, Mandarin oranges.
So it's like somewhere either. I don't know. In my brain, I'm like in the mountains, but then it's like, yeah, it snows and you get water from the snow, but it's like, what about food? So, eh.
Oh man, Tekken. I like it. That's good. You got it all planned out. So you're coming to Canada. That's good. That's all you're aiming for. Canada. You wouldn't go see your mom? You're gonna leave your mom behind?
Yeah, every man for themselves. Zombie apocalypse. There can be only
Oh
one.
wow. And you wonder why she calls me. And now that she's heard that, she's not gonna talk to you. There you go. How dare you, Tekken? Anyways, so other than that, you're doing fine. You're gonna go do some shopping soon for groceries.
Actually, I'm just gonna like order it because I'm not gonna
Oh
risk
God.
going into like any. I don't know, dude. It's weird. Like before this whole thing, I kind of had like some like simmering
Issues.
agoraphobia happening, and I think it's just like full blown now of just like I don't want to be around people ever again. I'm just like I'm done. Like no more. I'm never going out to like be around people ever again. It's a wrap. It's actually like so just like two things for this year. Just like get me the f out of this country, and like I just like will live in isolation in Canada somewhere, and like that's it. That's my life after this. If I survive.
If you start, there you go. Well, you got. Let's just say between the two of us, you got a better chance of surviving because you're staying in and you're not getting sick. So unfortunately, it's the people in your apartment that you have to worry about, right?
Hmm.
So,
Not really, because I never go outside. So.
oh, they never go outside either.
No, I mean like I'm. It's not like I ever have come in contact with them. So it's like it's
Well,
like
you're on the ground floor, aren't you?
no, I'm on the second floor.
Oh, second floor. So you don't even have to go use an elevator. You can just hop your balcony and hit the ground.
Yeah, I
Hit the
just
ground
like put a
running.
rope on my balcony that way. I never have to like worry about opening the door and touching the handle. Because then every
Exactly.
time I go out, like I have gloves on, so that's not an issue either. So I'll just like throw the
Yeah,
gloves
but
away when I get back in.
if it turns into zombies, you can just jump out the window and hop on your. Oh, even better, put your motorcycle right underneath your balcony, and then you can hop out off your balcony right onto your motorcycle and right off. Be like a cool dude. There you go. Well, I wish you nothing but the safe health of you. I know you're a favorite of mine. You know that, and I hope you get through this okay because there's a second wave coming, and
Oh
it's at
yeah, that's a whole thing, dude. Of like, oh, let's reopen. It's like oh yeah, this is the joke I wanted to make on the podcast. It's like it's kind of like the scene in Dark Knight with the two boats, where it's like you have
yeah
like
yeah
you have like the people.
yeah
They're like, oh well, we just want to not be stuck inside and like go out and do things. And the other boat, essential workers, and they're like, oh, but we're trying to
yeah
save everybody and not getting infected. Please don't,
yeah
please don't. We're the only thing holding everything together. And
yeah
it's like two ships, two detonators. they're
yeah.
both ready to explode. And I don't think both ships are going to make it out this time.
No. Oh, stop it. So it just I think we're a lot better than I think they were in 1918. I would imagine. The thing is, if Trumpy wins, all right, if Trumpy wins, and if you're going independent, Trumpy wins. If Trumpy wins, then he's got to deal with the second wave. If Joe Biden wins, then he has to deal with the wave for the first time, right? So it's going to be interesting for whoever the new president's going to be because it's going to hit you during flu season, right? So, but hopefully, the weather will be so warm it'll just burn it away. It'll burn it
That's
away.
not how
Why has anybody asked him about that? He goes on these daily rants, and Trump does, and he goes and why don't people confront him about? Oh, by the way, remember when you were telling people to take hydrochloroquine? And they say, "Don't take it. You got nothing to lose." And or why don't they confront him with that, saying, "Hey, listen, there's people who've taken this and died because you told them to take it." Or or the other side is what we just discussed about. Oh, but didn't you say the flu was just going to go away when they got hot out? You stupid salesman. So I like the fact, and the best part is rational people can see what he's doing. He's trying to change the past. And he's saying, "Oh, I shut down the airports and all that." Well, you should have done that about 3 weeks earlier, Pally. And just it's just ridiculous. But anyways, let's talk about your friend Joe Biden.
He's not my friend.
Oh, really? You're gonna be voting for him in November?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Uh, any vote not for
That's
Joe
not how that
Biden
works. That's not how that works. Not how that
is
works.
against Trumpy Trump. Any vote for independent, and we've learned this up here in Canada, is a vote for the person you want to get kicked out because you got to be strong and affirmative. All you people say, "Oh, I don't get my guy." It's like screw you. You're voting on a belief system, and you're going Democrat because you want to get rid of this
I
crackpot.
would like to vote on something I can live with. It's like last time. It's like, oh, asterisk. This person is being investigated by the FBI. I can't. That's not something I can live with. So it's like, I have to. I
Yeah,
would like to be able to live with
yeah,
the fact that I did not do that.
yeah.
And then
How'd that
now it's
work
like,
out?
oh, some, possible sexual assault allegations. It's like, oh, well, like how many more are there? Could there be more? Are there more? I guess I personally
The
am just
the
I'm hoping this
the best
blows up in their faces, and there are more. And it's like, oh, great job, guys. I love to see how you always getting behind like the worst person ever to like shove down everybody's throats and be like, oh yeah, our way or
But
no way.
thing is, but thing is, you say alleged sexual actions, right, against somebody. I'm up here saying that could have been either of them.
Well,
Like
Trump's already like
you gotta
admitted
be
to
more
it on
specific,
tape, so it's
buddy.
like whatever, dude. But it's like it's like that's not it's not we're not here
And
about like
and
lesser
and
of two
and,
evils. because it's just like
Yes, it is. Yes, it
eh,
is. And
eh.
because we you know who the lesser of the two evils is, at least for right
So
now.
that's the same argument last time, dude. It's like, huh.
I think we're gonna get a female president by the end of all this. This is how they integrate a female president into the White House is because they bring in Joe Biden, all right, and he's not doing too well. I don't think he's not as. I don't get it. Anyways, but he wants a female. He wants a female vice president. So it's two lines of
Oh,
thought.
I guess there's
First,
that actually. It's like on the off chance that he like kicks it, and like doesn't make it all the way through, or just like his mental decline is like so bad that he's like, you know what, I'm just going to resign, and it's like the VP is now the president, and I chose a woman VP, so haha. And I did say that one time on the podcast. I was like, you know what, dude, there's no lady president this time. There's gonna be a riot. So
no, there's not gonna be a riot. But the thing
I mean,
is,
there's not going to, but
they introduced the concept of at least a female vice president back with the Alaskan lady, Sarah Palin, who you now see singing as the Masked Singer on NBC.
oh
Now,
man, Pelican
now,
Party.
now
What is up there?
but
Seriously.
the thing is now we've introduced this, and that is now we have somebody who now Democrats are going to bring out their version of who, and it smells. Remember when I talked to you about, okay, it all comes down as a linear kind of thing, 8 years for them, 8 years for them, 8 years for them, 8 years then. Well, then when we had Barack going up, right, and he was battling, and of course then I can't remember the names now. I'm way too tired, and 58 hours a week, pal. Anyway, so and then he brought in his running mate, which was a female. That kind of
Oh,
tanked the run, right? He had a shot, and then Sarah Palin came in, tanked the
I don't.
run.
It wasn't because she was a woman though. It's just like she wasn't
No,
really on the ball.
yeah, exactly. They're like, this is my team's
I
gonna
could
run the
see
country.
Rector
No,
from my house.
yeah, exactly. Bob Dole. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, I just remember in the last podcast, Bob Dole was a sacrificial lamb and so I don't know, and so its history's repeating itself, and now depending on who he picks, and he was supposed to pick a long time ago, I think,
He
or is he
said
waiting
that
for?
May.
No, he's
I
waiting
saw
for.
something online. So he said like by the 1st of May, or was it the end
Well,
of May? Whatever. Sometime in May we'll know. So
I think he was
soon.
supposed. I think he was going to announce probably at the Democratic convention, right? That'd be a great way to introduce somebody. Come, so we'll see. Um, Anyways, so it's either this is the first step towards finally integrating a female president. Oh God, or it's going to be somebody who, or it's just another one is that they're sacrificing the big. They're sacrificing because they're not going to win this one, so let's throw a female vice president in there. I'll let you rant for a bit. I gotta check my text
Okay, well,
messages.
like going back to like what I just said about the whole like Joe Biden, whatever, blah blah blah, is like since Joe was on the whole spiel about the 8-year thing, about like one second to eight, another second to eight, one second to eight. It's never been like consecutively 8 and then another 8 and then another 8 since like FDR or whatever. I could be wrong. It's like it's been a while, dude. Haven't really reviewed my presidential history, but it's like what could happen is we get Biden for 4, and then he's like, I'm not gonna do another term, and then his Veep runs, and it's like, oh, but then that's a whole other can of worms. As myself personally, as a progressive, it's like it's like, what if it's Klobuchar? What if it's Kamala Harris? Because it's like, it's really, if it's not Elizabeth Warren, I'm honestly, who it is doesn't matter to me, because it's like, okay, like I'm now seeing this from the perspective of like the whole. It kind of makes me want to vomit in my mouth when I say it, of like how Joe Biden said he like wanted to build a bridge to the future. So I guess that would kind of work as like he gets like the first 4 years and then like beats Trump, whatever, and then like as VP gets maybe 1 or 2 terms, but probably two, because why would they go for 4, right? Because it's like power,
Okay,
whatever. So
all right. So Biden wins because you're going to vote for Biden, and then
see, well, my
you,
thinking now is not I'm not voting for him. I'm voting for his VP. That's yeah.
as long as a vote is a vote to get Trump out, That's the important thing.
It
Because
it was
soon,
never gonna be for him though. So it's like that's such a stupid argument. They're like,
anyways,
oh, it's
anyways,
you're voting for that person if you're not voting for them. It's like, how does that work? That's not how that works. That's not how that
we're gonna be
works.
back here talking about this in November, and you better be ready to eat crow if it doesn't come your way. Anyways, so yeah, and so the thing is, the next up for the Republicans would be, I don't think Pence would go. They wouldn't put Pence
Dude, I
up
don't
there.
even know what's gonna happen on that side. They're so like out of it, man. It's a cult, and like
Ivanka Trump.
honestly, I feel like it's just
It's
like
Ivanka
if Trump loses, he'll just keep trying to like win another 4 years, and then like serve like
Ivanka
his second
Ivanka
eventual term eventually, and then like if that never happens, great. And then that's just all he'll crusade for if he does
Ivan,
lose. And
Ivanka Trump. You're gonna get your first
not gonna
first
happen.
female. Hmm?
She's not a
Oh,
citizen.
really?
She's not an American citizen.
What is she?
She's from let me look it up.
Alien?
Let me look it up.
Like that stopped.
Ivanka Trump.
This went off the rails, folks. I'm sorry about this. Now he's obsessed. He's
Oh, okay.
obsessed with.
I thought you were talking about Melania. My bad. Not the daughter. I don't think the daughter. I don't think she has. I don't think she has any intentions of being a politician though.
Well, you're not. You just got flagged. So just remember that. Like, I know you've been flagged for a lot of the stuff you've been watching on the internet the last month, but this is one of those for sure things you're gonna get flagged for. You know.
Oh, dude, that just man, the like my brain just had like a nightmare scenario of just like the Trump dynasty of just like how maybe like all his children would like try to run and like be like the heir after him, can like just like
Yeah.
take his supporters and like it could happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So you know, I don't know if they all have the evil gene that he has, or just like they don't seem like they're as they have that whole thing down with the rhetoric of like just being able to just like constantly BS and like do the whole thing.
Hmm.
Only I can do it. I'm the greatest. Nobody knew about this before I knew about it. Yeah, whatever. I didn't say that. I never knew that person. I never met them. I never knew them.
See, there you go. So who do you think is gonna be the female vice president then?
Ugh. I have no. I'm. My money's on probably. I don't know. Actually, it's weird because it's like you had people who dropped out and endorsed him earlier than others, but then it's like I don't think that's going to be like what. See, here's the thing about the Dims, dude, is like they're all about like the whole like they're gonna take out their microscope and like analyze the data and be like, what gives us the most electoral advantage in the populace with where the demographics are. So it's like I think Kamala Harris has a pretty good chance. If it's not her, Stacey Abrams. If it's not her, Val Demings. It's probably gonna be an African American woman because it's like after the whole South Carolina thing of like, oh, older black voters like Joe Biden, and gotta get him on board. So it's like anybody not on board, well, we gotta maybe give them a lady VP and they'll be on board too. We're gonna take that Obama coalition that's damaged and frayed but still there from Obama time and sell it right on through election season. Get the win and we got it, guys. We're in power again. Awesome. The deed is done.
Oh, that voice gets me every time. No. Anyways,
Also, before we move on, I just want to point out, man, Bernie was right. Bernie was effing right. Like I was saying, Cyclops was right many months ago, many years ago on the podcast. About the whole like thing. It's like so. I want to like make a Photoshop of like the. I need to have Photoshop skills of just like Bernie's face with like the slogan of like Bernie was right in that like same motif of like the red and black Cyclops on it, and just like be perfect because yeah. Yeah, now that we're in a global pandemic and like everybody's, well, not everybody, but like millions and millions unemployed, it's like, oh, wouldn't it be great if wouldn't it be great if your healthcare insurance was not tied to your unemployment, so you didn't lose your job? And it's like, oh, I have no insurance anymore. It's like, how's that feel now? We're this close, we were so close. Medicare for all was like within grasp, within reach, and now it's like Biden's like, oh, I'd veto it. So it's like, yeah, effing gone, effing down the effing tubes. I mean, sure, the battle's lost and the struggle continues, and like we can still fight for it. But it's like, dude, I'm I'm honestly kind of tired of fighting, which is like why it's like Canada. It's like nice. It's a great solution because it's like I'm sick of writing the struggle bus of death, and it's a nice place where it's not as bad probably. So whatever.
Well, I can't wait
Also,
for the
also
gyms
pour
to.
one out for Andrew Yang and the universal basic income. Wouldn't that be great right about now? Wouldn't it be great? Yeah, it would.
For you, it would be.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Darn right.
Instead of like the here's $1,200 for to survive for 10 weeks. Steve Mnuchin, go after yourself.
Now you can get your money, right?
I already got mine.
You already got your money.
Yeah,
And what did you use it on?
nothing. I almost impulse bought a gaming PC, but then the more I
Oh,
thought about it,
jeez.
my frontal lobe just like took over and was like, wait a minute, Tekken. Wait. Shh. PS5 is on the horizon.
Yep.
PS5. You don't need a
Yep.
gaming PC. That's why you have a PS4. Cause you're a console gamer. What are you doing?
Yep.
And I was like, what am I doing? Voice in my head. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And I could get
You
like
know,
a 4K TV too. It's like, yeah, dude. Like you can get the console and the TV and like all the stuff with it, and just like, yeah, like
yeah.
we could survive in this hellscape of 2020 and just like play games. Like, what are you doing? Just I was like,
And then and
yeah,
then,
what
and
am I
then
doing?
and the best part, then you went, wait, take it, wait. Hydrochloroquine. What do you got to lose? Take it. You don't want to get there. Take the hydrochloroquine. It's good for you. And they went, wait, take it. If you stabbed everybody in your building, it, there'd be nobody to touch anything.
If you kill them all, they can infect you.
That's a genius idea. Just kill them all and just live in the apartment building. Don't worry
Actually,
about
that was
this.
something I saw on one of the
Don't worry about the
articles
smell.
of the pandemic time was like, less crime because nobody's like out to do things.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like less crime, less pollution because humans are terrible.
yeah, exactly. And the pollution's getting better. In 3 days, you could see Los Angeles, not, without any smog, because nobody was driving. Wait, take it. Go buy more mandarin oranges. That's all. Take it. You could buy a motorcycle with that money.
Oh man, I gotta put that on my to-do list. On as well as like all the other stuff that like I was
Start listening to
doing
your
in
listen to the voice in your head.
unemployment isolation that like I haven't done. It's like learn how to learn how to drive a motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just get on your days gone by or whatever it is, day or whatever it is, and just practice there.
That's not how that works. Motorcycles are manual, dude. You can't just like go jump on one and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna ride it."
Now
Unless
how
you're
you
like
get
fall off and hurt yourself.
yeah. Now it all works unless there's a gas station that's still open during the apocalypse.
Well, that's man. That also like I think yesterday was Earth Day or like the day before yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So it's like it's kind of a bummer day because I was like I saw one of those videos about like empty streets and like very pollution or not very pollution but like less pollution and like all the animals came back and I was like why can't this just be like the new thing, like why can't
Yeah.
we just like make
Yeah.
electric cars and like never have any carbon exhausting cars ever
Yeah.
again. It'd be great.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden a bear starts humping you. And then it's like
Well, you keep talking about bears humping people.
because
Oh my
and not
gosh!
hump,
Like you said that, and
not
now my brain is like, "Have you seen Tiger King?"
no, I've not
Oh,
seen it.
dude!
I've been
I wish
I
we could
work
talk about
58
Tiger
hours
King.
a week.
Yeah,
58 hours.
it's
Take it.
it's the new American classic, dude. You have to see it. And it's funny because like the state it takes place in is Oklahoma, which is like one state below mine, and it's just like I
Oh,
saw that and I was like, dude, I'm never like going south of the border of the state ever
no,
again. Just like
no.
Okies are crazy, man. Just like
Yeah.
so weird.
Uh,
It's so man. I can't even talk about it because you haven't seen it, but it's so
I'm
it's so
not.
insane.
I'm not talking about people getting humped by bears. I'm talking about you getting humped by bears. Big difference.
Just specifically me.
Yes, you want to live in the mountains and melt snow to drink out of. That's fine and dandy, but you're gonna get humped by a bear
What
when you
makes
do
you
it.
think that like I would just be like drawing a bear in to hump me?
Well, you'd be like, Oh, get away from me, bear! Got my knife. And the bear's like, "Ooh, you like that's dangerous. I like that." And boom, 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 boom. Yeah,
That's gonna
let's
be
just.
my new sound effect after the whole dog, dog, dog. Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, let's just say he's going for the honey pot. That's all I'm saying. Winnie the Pooh's going for the honey pot. Dong.
Oh man, I'm just thinking about that every time now of like, pandas in captivity trying to breed.
Oh yeah.
Because they're bears, so, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, 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 with it, pandas.
Yeah. Well, that's what like that. I got that. You get that from bunnies.
Oh, I'm gonna title this episode "Bear Humping."
Bear humping. Well, there. That would make instead of Animal Crossing, it's Animal Humping. That's how it is.
Oh man.
I just saw on my Twitter feed that Red, the scammer on Animal Crossing, is now there trying to sell people works of art, and you gotta see if it's real or fake. Oh, what a time to live, Tekken. You be playing Animal Crossing. So, anyways, so you're gonna vote for Democrat this year. That's good. We're gonna get Trump out, and then we will go from there. It's one step at a time. Do you think the reason why Bernie didn't get in because he had too much radical ideas and
No,
they
no, no. Okay, dude. Okay, A, no. B, after the whole, let's just throw trillions of dollars at the solution to the pandemic. It's like that argument is like completely out the window. Go for yourself if you still believe that. Um, I think it was like total just like, okay. I can only go off of anecdotal evidence, but like when I was on the cruise with my mom, watching the few news stations that there were, and and
before the pandemic, before the
yeah,
pandemic.
before the pandemic, and it was
Which
like
okay, you were on when did you go on your cruise? That was what, January,
December,
December.
December.
So you're just on the cusp of it.
I think part of me thinks I got it because I did get sick and I was like, it was like, I mean, but it wasn't like
No,
super
no, no.
bad.
You
It was
you
just
get
like,
you. I do believe you do get the cruise sickness. You do get that. Like everybody pretty much gets that as soon as they get off the boat, right? Everybody because
no, but
everybody's
like when we were like back to back cruise, like on the second one, I was just like, I had some sort of like cold or flu or something. I was like, dude, what is this? And just like, it wasn't a cold because it was like way more intense. But then it's like I didn't have the symptoms like pneumonia or anything, so I'm like, it probably wasn't. I'm just like being like hysterical, but like whatever. I'm just joking. It's like I didn't have it, but I like had something. But anyway,
Oh, so what you're saying is that you're the one who brought it to the States.
no, I'm not patient zero. That was
So
not
so
me.
so your mother's the one.
It,
You're blaming your mother. No, it wasn't me. It
no,
was my mom. There you go. Blame
whatever.
her.
We weren't even in the same hemisphere as Wuhan, China. So I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. Did you eat bad on the cruise?
No, I did not. I did not eat any bats or penguins on the cruise. Can
Penguins?
confirm.
What the hell? I didn't say anything about
Not
penguins.
penguins, penguins. The wet market animal that was
Oh, okay.
also involved in the whole species to species to human
Yeah.
virus
Or
transmutation.
or or as we like to call it here on the podcast, species to species.
Oh my god. So stupid. Species to species contact.
That's what's gonna happen to you in the snow.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I just hope you land on a nice fresh uh punch of snow, and so it'll just keep you nice and comfortable. That's the we just play dead Tekken. That's what you do. Just play dead and just let them get it done with, and then you wow,
Wow.
that's all it is. That is, if you don't know how to survive a bear attack, that's how you do it. You play dead till they're fed up with you, and then they throw you away, and then they walk off. That's how you survive a bear attack. A bear humping attack is a different thing, I'm sure, but
Oh my gosh, what was like? Okay, so I almost
Yeah,
lost my train of thought.
yeah. Your last thing you're saying is that you gave off the coronavirus to everybody in Kansas.
No,
That's the last thing you said.
I was on the cruise watching news channels and like the air quote not crazy ridiculous Fox News. So it's like CNN and MSNBC. I mean, more so MSNBC was weird because it's like they're supposed to be like the left channel, whatever. But they were like totally like bashing Bernie. It's like, what the f, dude? Like, I can't. I want to go back and like try to find the clip, but like one of the hosts or people on there, talking heads, was like something radical progressivism, blah blah blah, evil, terrible, blah blah blah, whatever. So it's like it was just like the older people out there, like the older generation that are like so foreign in love with Joe Biden. It's like that's where they get their information from. So it's like the biased opinion that is there. If it's like it's one of those things where it's like you just free reign to just
I think, and this is just me, and you can tell me I'm wrong about that, but they think that by putting Joe Biden in there because he was part of the team with Obama. Sorry, Osama. That's a another idea. Obama is that it'll relate to people that say, oh, the old team's getting back together in theory, right? And therefore this guy was already, he was part of the good times that we had before this person came on board, right? So do you think that is, instead of Bernie, who, if he goes up against Trump in a debate, is going to be, and don't think Trump doesn't like the fact he doesn't have to debate anybody, because he'll keep saying Hunter Biden all through this whole thing. It was like he is. I swear to God, if he doesn't get eviscerated in a debate by Biden over everything he's done in these last 4 years, I'd be, and he's going to say, "Oh, you guys wanted to impeach me," and he'll start throwing that at him. But he'll say, "Well, you handled the coronavirus like a sap and all that kind of stuff." It's just going to be very interesting to see how it's handled.
I don't know, dude. It's like I'm. That's gonna be like the salt test for me on Joe Biden of like if he is like actually there. It's like and like has the mental acuity to like because like right now it's like hard for me to like watch him struggle to like make it through sentences. So it's like when he is like facing down Trump in a debate, and it's like that's gonna be just like brutal because even when like Joaquin Castro or Julian Castro like said that mean thing to him. Well, it wasn't mean. He said like the one thing to him like at the debate, and everyone's like, "Oh, that was so mean, Julian. Why'd you say that?" He's like, I just said that, Joe Biden. You seem to forgot like within the time I said it. And it's like everyone's like, that's so mean. That's too mean. It's like, dude, like they're like at no point during the whole Democratic debate process were the gloves off, and it's like debating with Trump. He's gonna go for the legs. He's gonna sweep the knee. He's gonna sweep the leg. It's like there are no rules. It's like
No,
they have like handed him. He's going to go in there and be a sacrificial lamb after like having absolutely no like defense at all, and just like having to defend himself on any of his like anything because he has nothing. Honestly, his platform is just like an empty shell of a husk. Whatever. I don't go into it. But it's gonna be brutal, dude. It's gonna be brutal. It's like
First of all,
I honestly don't want to watch it because it's gonna be so bad. But it's like
first of all,
I mean, that being said, like Trump does like have like the same thing where he does like the whole like spiel I was doing earlier. It's like, oh, I never knew him. Blah 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 blah. It's like just speaks in
first of
circles.
all,
But
first of
it's
all,
gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. Continue. Yeah.
first,
First of all, what?
first of all, first of all. Hey, Tekken. Hydrochloroquine. What do you got to lose? Take the
He's going to
hydrochloroquine.
go after him so hard for Brisbane,
No, but
Ukraine,
think,
dude.
okay, okay.
It's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be just
Yeah,
like the email thing on Hillary. It's like that's all he's gonna talk about, and it's like he doesn't have to say anything else, and his supporters will be like, yeah, what he said. Oh man, yeah. Brisbane, Ukraine, Giuliani.
Donald Trump, all right, is not going to sweep the leg. Donald Trump is not going to trip him up. Donald Trump is not going to do any fancy maneuvering to Joe Biden. What Donald Trump's going to do is walk up to Joe Biden, metaphorically, metaphorically, and kick him square in the nuts. and that's what he's going to do. This isn't about sweeping legs. That's a tactic. That's what a good politician would do. Sweep the leg, work up front, and then when he's not expecting it, sweep the legs out from underneath him. Right? Donald Trump will kick you, go right up to you, kick you in the nuts, and say you're the one who kicked him in the nuts. That's how that is. Thump, 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 thump. Anyways, so okay, so we're gonna see in the next coming months, depending on this whole coronavirus. See, Trump, he wants to push everything open because see, this is where he's at, right? Is that he wants to get things open because the further things go down the spiral, the further even his supporters will not vote for him, right? They'll have to say, "What the heck? This guy doesn't know how to lead." But at the same time, he has to get the economy going, but at the same time, at the risk of people's lives. And there's already over 45,000 people dead.
It's such a weird time, dude. It's like I feel like Thanos because I'm like rooting for death in this scenario because it's like the worse things get, the better it is for Joe Biden. It's so bad, but it's like that's
Wow,
how it is, dude. It's like
wow.
say what you will about me, I don't care. But I'm on the side of Saint Corona and a recession or depression, whatever. Either way, doesn't matter to me. So whatever. As things get worse, it gets better. So
Yeah, and that voice in your head gets more clear. That's what it. Taken,
take it,
taken,
take it, take
taken.
it.
And the best
I'm
part
just
is,
saying, dude.
and the best part, you
When
separated
like one
yourself
side
from.
is like outside of like protesting, yeah, and we're not even social distancing. It's like, oh hell, let's. I mean that I'm completely fine with that as their numbers will slowly dwindle down as that's how
All,
nature works and
all I know is
we are
this. All
seeing
right.
what's it called oh I lost there's a thing where it's natural selection. There we go. We're seeing it play out right in front of us as it happens. It's like, oh, you don't want to stay inside and just not be stupid. But
Listen, don't you want to get your hair colored?
have you seen my hair?
No, I'm sure it's a fine group of hairs. As a man who doesn't have any, to a man who does have plenty, I'm sure you're doing just fine for yourself. But that's how that woman said. We gotta get this open because I gotta go see a hair color woman. And then of course somebody
Those
to put
signs,
up.
dude, are so terrible. It's like I want a haircut. It's like what?
Yeah.
It's like what? Like
Hey, hey,
just
they're a modern day. Apparently, from what somebody once said on like I think Fox News or something like that, so they are a modern day Eartha Kitt, and so that's all good. No, I'm just kidding, but that they are fighting their best to get their point across that they're idiots, and they're doing a good job.
like I said, dude. Two boats. Dark Knight. One side. The other side. I don't think both boats are gonna make it out this time. It's like dude.
Oh, listen to you. I think be just fine.
I
They'll be just
mean, maybe they will, and just like one will have like a bunch of dead people because they didn't stay in their cabins, and one won't. So
nah,
no
we'll
bombs
see.
went off, but people died. There you go.
No, oh, that's all right. Anyways, but the thing is, he's got to reopen the economy because everything's just being tanked without him, right? But at the same time, he's got to be smart. And he wants to open up the gyms first. Yeah, that's nice. So you have people working beside each other, sweating it out
But
to
you
the
can't,
oldies.
dude. Like Dr. Fauci said, dude. It's like the virus dictates like how like your timeline. You cannot do anything like until you have. I think it was like 14 days of like declining numbers, which is like not what we have because we're still like at the plateau point where it's like it still could still go up if you do go back because then you're gonna peak again, which is why you should not go why we should not go back. It's like unless you want things to get worse, which even though they're kind of like not as bad, it still could get worse. It's like it's possible that the worst is still in front of us. So it's like which would happen if you have a second wave and it's like, oh, guess what, we're gonna reopen the economy and it's like, oh, we're peaking again. So it's like we're actually not doing better. We're doing worse. So it's like and like, if we just like look at the numbers and the data and not be like, this is working. Let's keep doing it. And like, why would you? Which is like, why would you not do that? It's like,
Tekken,
oh, like I said, yeah,
Tekken,
just I need to send you
Idacor.
this picture off of Twitter I found or saw like someone tweeted out where it was like a train and then like a bunch of people like laying on the tracks and it's like you could stop the train and the train company will lose money, but if you don't, everybody like you can kill a bunch of people. It's like which one would you like here? This is not mutually exclusive. one of these is going to happen. It's like one of these is also clearly the right thing to do, and like not the terrible thing to do. So it's like, are you on the side of capitalism, the economy, and money, and the stock market going up, or people not dying and
Tekken,
living
Tekken,
life? Hmm?
Tekken. Hydrochloroquine. Take it. What do you got to lose? You got nothing to lose. Take it. Are you upset when they say that these protesters are the modern day Rosa Parks?
Yes. Don't, dude. That's a whole effing can of worms as far as like, oh my gosh, the privilege that is just like exuberated of the like I said, dude. This, like what did the sign say? It's like I want a haircut. I want whatever insert service here. It's like, oh, okay, so like you really aren't like being oppressed or anything. It's just like you want something because you feel so entitled to it. Go f yourself. Whatever.
They want their hair colored.
Those signs are so terrible. They're so terrible.
And they showed the woman that is in the truck that shows her hair. Oh, I need to get hair colored. They actually put the science in and saying, okay, your hair grows about a quarter of an inch a month, right? So therefore, and all the colors showing up. So you haven't really had your hair done since October, and then the coronavirus hit, and then you can't get it done now. I was like, okay. Oh, my boss likes talking to me. Anyways, so it's a good thing she doesn't yell at me, so it's all good. But anyways, so it's a shame that they want to try to politicalize this as opposed to, oh, your lives are at risk, save yourself, stay at home, don't do anything stupid. Like I had to take groceries to my mom the other a couple weeks ago before this really hit, right? And even Mama was smart, so I put the grocery bags right down by the door to the apartment buildings, and my mom is on the third floor, so therefore she couldn't jump off that onto a motorbike and take off. But she was right there on the other side of the door. I put the bags down. I waved at her, and I live about 45 minutes away from Mama, so I waved to Mom, and she waved back to me, and we talked for a quick second on the other side of the glass, and then I just left. And that's how you take care of each other, by doing the smart things, right?
Yeah, because
So
my mom gave me some rice too, but you know, I couldn't touch her, so that's kind of sad. Actually, she gave me like more than rice because like she said she was on her way to give me some rice, and then like she got me some rice, but then like she got me a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. So, and that was the day I learned how to cook, or the week I learned how to cook rice because I didn't cook it that day, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty easy. I could just live off rice too. So it's like, actually, I will be probably upgrading from mandarin oranges to rice because, dude, bang for your buck, dude. That's the other thing that this has taught me in the pandemic is like how to stretch my dollar even further. Because before it was all peanut butter and jelly, cereal. It's like, dude, that stuff is like way more than like cans of fruit and like bags of rice. Bags of rice is so cheap, and you get like so much of it and like eat it. Like I think that's how I got so low in my weight. It's just like eating rice like that, right? Like that, I should like measure myself after I do that and like try to like make a rice diet and then like make millions off of it, and then like be happy and like rich.
and put it on Tinder.
Sure. I mean, not really because I have no use for that, but
Right. Yeah.
whatever.
Here, you want to disinfect yourself? There you go.
I don't think there's a lot of people using Tinder right now. I mean, I
Yeah,
would know though, so
you'd
maybe
be,
there are.
you'd be, you never know. I wouldn't be surprised. Trust me. Well, not that guy in my lineup. That's for sure. He hasn't used it. He thinks he can just go to the grocery store, the number one place to meet somebody. I want to always argue that fact because, well, yeah, I'm married. That's all well and good. But I never see people like meeting up with other people in a grocery store. And they say that's the number one place to meet with people is in a grocery store. I said, I've never seen that before in my life. Never seen that happen. And I've worked in a grocery store for over 2 decades.
I can also say that that is the case. My 13 years working in a grocery store, I did not never see people like, oh, I'm so madly in love with you, blah 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 blah, in the middle of an aisle or something weird.
No, it'd be like, hey, nice melons. And she'd be like, yeah, they look fresh. And I said, yeah, they pretty fresh. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, back to the point about the whole like media versus Bernie thing. Like I feel like I didn't drive this point home enough. But like like after the multiple wins in multiple states of like before South Carolina, it all fell apart. and like it's like Iowa and New Hampshire, Nevada, the whole time. It's like the pearl clutching and the like, oh, socialism is evil and how are we gonna pay for it, and just like that 24/7 on cable news when that's the thing and people hear it like, yeah, you repeat it enough and people hear it enough, they might start to believe it, and I guess it worked. So I hope you're happy DNC. I hope you're happy Dims. Now that we've got this empty shell of it candidate Joe Biden, just hope it all works out for you and you're all happy at the end of the day.
Oh, stop it. It's a happy day.
It's how's it a happy day? We're in a global pandemic.
What's this picture you put up on your Facebook?
Ghost in the Shell,
Ghost
dude.
in the Shell.
Stanley Complex 2045. Cannot wait. Mm.
Mm.
Oh, dude. Okay, so last time we were talking about like streaming service shows or something, and like I don't remember specifically what we were talking about. Okay, actually, before we talk about that, I want to like make this point. Like when you said like your mom was on the third floor, it like made me think of that time when you made the joke of like women jumping out of my apartment into the
Yeah.
bushes.
Yeah.
Did we ever talk about like when you said the thing about like when I texted you like the wrong sentence, and then like I went back and got the clip of like what I actually said, and like the voice to chat was wrong, and I exonerated myself on that,
No.
on the whole like, baby, meet me outside or whatever. It was something weird that it came out as, or you like interpreted it as it was just like, Tegan, what did you send me? And it was
D-
like, actually I have it on my Twitch clip. It's like, I did say, I'll be
Oh,
I can't remember
yeah.
specifically, but dude, that was like a funny
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You were. Yeah.
But yeah,
It all comes down to that. I'm talking to my buddy Paul Timmons, and he says, "Oh, you should get on there," and I should get on there with Techie when we do a podcast. So we're gonna do one on a day off down the road for both of us, and then get you on there so we can have all three of us back on again, just like old times. And he actually listened to the whole show, and he said, "You guys are a bunch of perverts." I went, "Not me."
what?
I said, "You're talking about Tekken. You make
Oh,
a
you.
because he heard about he got to the part about the celestial juices. I'm going, oh my god. So that's all good. Hey, Paul, how are you? You made it this
Oh,
far.
man.
You're a lucky man.
But yeah, this one time we're talking about stuff we were watching on streaming. I can't remember which episode or like what we're talking about. But like I found my magical like perfect shows, not perfect shows, but like the stuff to me that I just like love to watch. So it's like anything cyberpunk, dude. Like Altered Carbon is like the best thing ever. It's like it is untouchable. It is like flawless. It is just immaculate. It's so good. It's so good. If you're a fan of cyberpunk, it takes all that stuff, anything transhumanism, and just like is it a tell, dude? You have to watch it. It is amazing. It is essential must watch material. It is that good. And like to me,
And what's it called?
it's even like a notch over Ghost in the Shell. It's like I didn't think Ghost in the Shell could be topped. Like Stanley Complex is flawless. Stanley Complex season 2, so good. And just like this came along out of effing nowhere, and it's, I mean, I guess because it's like a live action, it's not like animated. So it's like, dude, this is like even better than Blade Runner. I was just like, how is that possible? It's called Altered Carbon. It's a Netflix exclusive, but like, dude,
Okay, okay, Akira, Altered Carbon,
I didn't
or
say
Ghost in the Shell. Name, marry, date, and F. Which one do you want? Go with it.
I would marry uh Altered Carbon 'cause it's amazing. I would date or wait a minute. Marry,
And
date,
kill.
F.
Kill. No.
You said marry, date,
Oh,
F. You
no.
didn't say kill.
No. It's marry, F,
Okay,
and
we'll
kill.
marry
There's no
Altered
dating in
Carbon. It's
there.
the best. I would F Ghost in the Shell because Motoko Kusanagi.
Okay, I don't need the sound effects from that.
Um, oh, and then I would kill Akira because I mean
Whoa.
it's
Is
I
that
mean
your name?
actually it's funny because like it is 2020 when we're supposed to have like the 2020 Olympics in Akira, but it's like they got delayed, so it's like we're obviously not in that timeline of like telekinetic school children and like the Japanese government kidnapping them and experimenting on them and all that stuff. So
Well, you don't know. Don't go too far on that one. I'm sure there's somebody hiding in there.
but yeah, Stanley Complex 2045 is like new season. I think in that universe, but it's like different animation style, so it's like not the cell style. It's like 3D, and people are like complaining about it. But it's like, dude, I don't effing care. Like it's more Ghost in the Shell, which is like always a good thing. So I can't effing wait to watch it. And it's just like if you don't know, basically Ghost in the Shell is like takes place in the far well. not so far future because it's like 2027, I believe, is like the first whatever, but like we're almost there. But it's like whatever. It's like basically super futuristic, super sci-fi, and like cyberpunk and transhumanism. And it's like basically people walk around and like they can transfer their consciousness, which they call ghosts, into uh, cyber brains. And so it's like you can have like external memory and like experience things and like essentially it's like the episode of Black Mirror where like the dude. Have you seen Black Mirror?
No.
Okay, well, that Black Mirror is also on the list. It's like amazing
Oh yeah, I've seen Black Mirror. Sorry,
sci-fi.
yes, yes.
But there's an episode basically where this dude like copies like all his memories and like can like go back and like look at them all and like be like, did I see that? Wait, what? Who? What? And like it just like kills it for him. It just he has a bad day. And it just it all goes south. Anywho, essentially like that, you just like back up all your memories, all your personality, all your existence into like a cyber brain and just like but then it can get hacked, so people can just like do that and like use it to for malicious reasons. And then also it's like as the evolution of the species like it like goes farther and farther into like becoming more data versus like actually like a physical corporeal form. So it's like it's kind of interesting to like on that like transhumanist slant how it goes like
Mm-hmm.
becoming more abstract as a person or like as your being versus like just being flesh and blood and skeleton. So it's like a very interesting take and the whole and analysis on that of like what it would do to our species if that happened.
Oh,
There's
there you
also cool
go.
like paramilitary like shooting stuff and terrorists killing them and stuff, and it's great. It's great. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Just watch it and like believe. Don't. I haven't seen live action Scarlett Johansson, so it's like I'm not sure how good it is, but the animated stuff, I would say Ghost in the Shell, the original, is kind of dated, and so it's like the sequel. But if you watch Alien
Uh,
Complex,
uh,
it's basically like one of the
how'd you
best.
like the movie?
Are you talking about?
The real movie with what's her face, Scarlett
I
Johansson.
haven't seen it.
What do you think about that
I
one?
haven't seen it. I didn't watch it because I didn't think it was going to be a faithful adaptation. And then I was like, I'll see what other people say about it. And most people didn't like it, so I was like, oh, okay, good. I dodged a bullet on that one.
There you go, perfect.
Speaking of Scarlett Johansson, what's going to happen to Black Widow? Do you think we're going to get it digitally, or are we just have to wait?
Yes.
Because
You know
I kind
something?
of, I kind of
I
wasn't going to go watch it, but if it's digitally, it's like, dude, I might as well because I have nothing else to do. So,
eh,
and I got twelve
you
hundred
know
bucks,
you
so it's
can only,
like that should drop
you
in the
can
bucket.
you can only stab so many before it gets boring. Oh, another one's died. Okay, killing everybody on your floor. Be Tekken, 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 Tekken.
But dude,
Watch Black Widow on digital.
but dude, the
Oh,
thing that
they,
makes like Altered Carbon so good is basically it's like a very similar concept of like Ghost in the Shell, but like even more to where it's like so basically there's these things called stacks. So it's like you have this DHF, and like your whole personality existence is like copied onto it. So it's like you're basically a person on a chip, and so you can just like take the stack, put it into a sleeve, which is what they call like the bodies in the universe, and so like a person can just like jump from like sleeve to sleeve to sleeve, and so be whoever or whatever they want to look like.
yeah,
Essentially, if they have the money for it, because like in that world, it's like the super rich, the 1%, kind of like control everything. So it's like if
like
you're
you.
poor, you're effed because you get like crappy sleeves, and like, or you could be like have your consciousness transferred to like a child or an old person that's already dying. It's just like it doesn't go well for you. But if you're super
Wow.
rich, you can like have so much money and so much resources that you could like even clone yourself and just have like the same stack or not the same stack, the same sleeve every time you come back and like back yourself up. It's actually cool because it's very reminiscent of like Hickman's like what he's doing now in X Men of just like
Mm-hmm.
you could just like
Uh,
respawn back in after
uh,
death, and like
uh,
but you could die, but like it's like it's like so cool like the way that they like frame it. It's like the way that they like talk about it is like your sleeve death is just your sleeve dying, but like your final death or whatever they call it, like your actual death is like when your stack is blown or like you're just you because it's funny like when they bring you back they're like please make sure to like avoid any trauma to the head or neck area because that's where they put it is like in your neck in your
yeah,
vertebrae like right before right like at the base of your skull, so it's like
yeah.
if that gets like damaged or like destroyed you're dead, but like if your sleeve is just like if you're shot full of holes or whatever but like they don't get your stack you can still be like put in another body and brought back, so it's pretty cool. I just like the whole concept of just like it's like kind of conquering death because you could just like live for hundreds and hundreds of years, but then also because of like the way it works in like a in practice is like what happens to the main character is basically they have his stack and he's in like just in storage, and then like hundreds of years go by and then he's put back in a body, and it's so he's like he comes back and it's been like hundreds of years and he's like, what? What year is it? And it's just like you've been on your stack in your storage for 200 years or something. And it's like it's just mind blown of just like that is so cool. It's just like
Wow.
it's not time travel, but it kind of is, but it's not, but it kind of is. It's just like it's so good. It's so good. It's amazing. I just effing love it, and just like it's so good. It's so good in the mind f on like so many good levels, and just like the technology on display is because it's sci-fi in the future, and just like there's so many cool guns. There's like this gun that you shoot, and like the bullets come back, and it's just like but it's only one episode, but it's like it's so cool, and just and like okay, I'm not gonna get too into it, but like just watch it. It's effing amazing. It's just so good. It's the best. I love it. But
And it's called Ghost in the Shell.
no, that was Altered Carbon.
I'm just I know. All right, so let's segue from that.
Also, apparently, it's like based on
wait,
like graphic novel, or like it's not a graphic novel, but it's based on books. So I want to like go and like read the or listen to the audiobooks to see if it's like the whole thing with the Ready Player One, where it's like even better because they like cut all the content. So I gotta read the books.
and that's called Altered Beast. Okay, that's
Shut up.
now. Dum, 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 dum. All right, so let's segue into from that, not the humping, but let's go from the great Japanese anime. I'll just say to the great Japanese video game that is Final Fantasy VII, the revamp, the part one. It's so good. They're gonna milk it to as many parts as they can. But this is part one, and Tekken picked it up, and by picked it up, I mean he stayed at home and downloaded it off his PS4, which he made sure to mention on his Facebook many times how close the times was getting. And now it is downloaded. He has played it. It took him like 3 hours, and he played the whole game, and it is all done. And we're gonna get his first impressions of the game. So Tekken, what out of a scale of one being humped by a bear to 10 being well, we won't go that far. What would you give this game?
9.5. It's so
Really?
good. It's so effing good. It's basic, man. It's kind of crazy, dude. Because I replayed the original like shortly before this came out, and then like to play this, it's it's so weird, but it's so good because it's basically they took Midgar, which is like the first city that you start in, and it's like
Hmm.
40 hours of that. It's 40 hours of Midgar, which is in effing insane because I was like, dude, do you get out of Midgar? Do you get out of Midgar? And like, you don't. And like, but it was so good. And I was just like, dude, there are so many places, and like, I cannot wait. But then, okay, so here's the thing. It's like kind of like a double edged sword because like it was so good, A, but B, it's like, dude, this is gonna take a long time because it's like this is part one, and it's like there's so many other places. It's like Calm, um, Junin, Fort Condor, Gold Saucer. I cannot effing wait. Gold Saucer, Nibelheim. Oh, it's gonna be so epic. I'm sorry. It's just like like if you like know where the game's doing. Okay, that's the other thing. It's like they throw a curveball in because it says Final Fantasy VII Remake, and like it is, it's weird because it's not like it's not Final Fantasy VII because it's just the first part. So it's like, oh, and then they do kind of like do some like weird stuff at the end where it's like nobody knows what's going to happen because of the things that they did, and like also that like when you play through it and it's like, okay, this isn't all the same. Like they've added things, they've changed things, they've added characters, they've completely just blown out all the like supporting cast and like settings and characters in like that first area, and it's just like, dude, I can't effing wait. Like I can't effing wait to get to Nibelheim because Nibelheim is so epic. Like that sequence, like side side B, Nibelheim. I'm, uh, uh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Like just side B of like what happens in Nibelheim, so effing good, so effing good. I cannot effing wait. And then like, just like they're like brief peeks of it in this one, and it's just like, oh, I can't wait. And just like you see where it's going. Like I mean, well, you already know it's going, but then you kind of don't because they kind of pull a Last Jedi. And like it's like, oh well, you're nobody. You're nobody. So so I'm kind of like wondering, are they gonna stick to their guns on this one? Because if they do, dude, it's gonna be great. Because like they do some things that like aren't in the original, and like they change some things that aren't in the original, and it's like actually it's for the better because it's like I mean it works. I feel like it works because if you want to play Final Fantasy VII, the OG version from '97, and like do all that stuff and like have that story be that way, it is play that version, and like they do the remake and like it's not 1-to-1, and like they're doing some things that are different, so it's like you know part of my brain, like playing it as like the purest at the purest level, I was like, I could see people being unhappy with this, but then I kind of like was like whatever, I didn't care because I played the first one to death, so it's like to see them do something new and refreshing as opposed to just like doing the same old, being a slave to the original and just copying it is like more. It's weird because like on the one hand it is like more appealing because I don't know what's happening or what's going to happen, but then it's like but it's going off script, so it's kind of like but then there are so many like homages and throwbacks and references that it's like it respects the source material enough, even if there are some like really weird parts where it's like why is it in here? It's just or like some of the parts where they like expand upon it of like that was weird. Like why was that seemed unnecessary, but dude, it is. I think what they've done with this game, if you look at Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 3, and like how Capcom remade those games, and like those were basically like not quite carbon copies, but like a similar like trying to be like a 1-to-1 to like redo the thing. Not so
Mm-hmm.
much 3 because it's not like 3 and Nemesis are like really different as far as like how they came out versus 2 and 2 remake. 2 and 2 remake is like to me like how it's meant to be if you like want to just remake a game. But what they did with 7 remake, dude, is just like it's so good. Because basically, I feel like what they've done is like similar to how like the original Final Fantasy 7, like when it came out on PS1, basically like popularized it for that generation. I feel like they've done the same thing where like they have set that benchmark so high, and like the standards in this game are so good and so high, and like it's a good template for like if you want to make a JRPG, this is what you do. Like they so basically instead of it being turn based and like ATB bar fills, you do an action, you're just sitting there, ATB bar fills, yada yada yada. You go, the enemies go, you go, the enemies go, whatever. If you have it on wait anyway, if it's not on active. So they basically just like from the ground up, the combat is like completely different. And I wasn't sure how I'd like it because I'm like a purist at heart. So like I love Chrono Trigger, I love Final Fantasy 10, I love Final Fantasy 7, I love Final Fantasy 9. Like ATB turn-based style, like to me like that is the gold standard of JRPGs of like how they should be, or just how they're meant to be played, or just like when they're at their best. So it's like the other reason I love this game is because it completely blew away my expectations on the combat system of like how it could be done when it works. Asterisk when it works, because on hard mode it kind of falls apart, but in on normal it was immaculate. It was sublime. It was just so effing good. Like it's basically taking like if you play a platinum game like Nier or Bayonetta or DMC5 or like any of like the best top tier triple A like action games from like Japanese developers and publishers, like from any time, and just like put that onto a JRPG system, or like with the story and the characters of like SquareSoft of old, because this game felt like SquareSoft of old. It did not feel like Square Enix. It was like this is an effing SquareSoft game. It was just amazing, dude. Like I loved every effing minute of it, and just like I've played it 3 times already, like through. I think it's been out since the 10th, so it's been like less than 3 weeks, but I played it 3 times already, and it's so good. I love it. I mean, that being said, I was like a huge fan of the original, so it's like that was also great. It's like I feel like it did live up to the high standard of like, can it not, you know, just can they just like not fail here and like just not live up to it? But I think they did, and they did a great job. And like I was saying, like the combat system, it's such a good melding of like action style of like modern action games and then like the classical JRPG. So you have just a really good mesh there, and then like they bring back a lot of the mechanics of the original, like the materia systems there. You have skills that you get on your weapons now. So you have I think it's SP skill points, and like as you level up, you can put those in. But then once you're at the cap of 50, you can only get them from weapon manuscripts in hard mode. So you don't have to play hard mode, but it does like reward you for actually doing that. And just, I mean, they did kind of change the summons, but it's whatever. I kind of feel like it's for the better because they're nerfed and they're not as just like you can just like drop knights of the round and be like done. So in that regard, it's like on the one hand it's like the purist in me is like but then it felt more rewarding when I did like play through hard without having to just like rely on a crutch like something like that with like a Knights of the Round like Quadra Magic or like Final Summon and Phoenix or something to like Like there's none of that like old style from the original of like combo of the materia, but there's like new stuff they've added in. Because there's like new materia, there's new materials that give you like new skills and stuff. So it's very refreshing and new, even though it's very like familiar to the original. And so the way man just it's just such a good job of like the way that, like your ATB bar fills, right? And so it's in infinite chunks. It's not the one chunk that you do like the one thing like in the old style. So you can get materia to basically just like supplement or just support your ATB bars, or just like have more skill point or not skill points. I'm sorry. So you can like have more actions for during your turns to do more things. Because at the beginning it's kind of slow because you can only like do one thing as it fills up, but then as you're doing things it fills up. So like if you're attacking or if you're taking damage it fills up. So you usually do have your one ability. And then why I say it like it kind of falls short and like why I give it like a 9.5 instead of a 10 is because on higher difficulty it was kind of annoying because it kind of the combat doesn't fully fall apart, but it just feels like the person that you're controlling, like if that's the other cool thing that's like really cool is like since it's not the like turn-based style, it's like action style RPG. You can have you can be whoever during combat, so it's like you can be Cloud, you can be Aerith, you can be Tifa, you can be Barret. Those are the playable characters. um and so you can switch between them, but you can only have three, like typical JRPG, or like I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, how it was in the original, because like in 9 you can have 4 people, but like in like 7 you can be 3. So you can switch between them and then like do their attacks and their abilities, so you're not just like tied down to being just Cloud, which really well, or whoever. And then like in certain sequences you take control of just like one person in the overworld, which is another cool thing. It's because it's very like open world light, which is not a complaint. It's just a observation because there's it's. But then there are also like in that regard why I give it a 9.5 is like you can see the technical limitations of like certain parts of the game when you're like in such a huge environment, and like the draw distance is like so far, but the texture is like so far off, like kind of so it doesn't always hold up all the way, but it's consistent enough to where it's like you don't really notice it. But or like just like the stuff. That's the other thing is this game looks amazing. So it's like all the stuff that's like up front and up close is like so good. And it's only like after playing it a while or just like certain things like look in comparison to like the really good stuff like right next to it. It's just like, oh, why does that not look as good as that looks? Oh, but it's and the music, dude, man. It's Final Fantasy 7 has like been one of my all-time favorite soundtracks. So it's like they brought back all the music, and there are like remixes and B-sides or just like original reinterpretations that they have in this version. And it's cool when you're playing. There's like a score going, but it like
Mm-hmm.
dynamically changes between songs to where it's like a lot of times it can just like go from song to song, or just like a lot of the themes or the battle sequences have just songs mixed in, or just like blending in, and like different motifs mixing in. It's just an amalgamation, but it always sounds so good. And it's just like, oh, and some of the remixes are just so good. Like there's a remix of the battle theme when you get to this part in Wall Market, and like you have a push up, not a push up contest, but like a squat contest, and then a chin up contest or pull up or whatever. And like the battle theme remix for those, just just it's so good. It's so good. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about. There's other stuff I want to talk about, but it's like it'd be spoiler, and I don't get into it. But like, yeah, all the music that you know and love is in there, and it's effing amazing. I'll just say that. So yeah, and
So
then
what?
there.
So a 9.5 out of 10. So what did you not enjoy about it? I know you kind of stretched on the limitations of the technology. Is that what you're saying would be the knockoff of the
Well,
point 0.5
just
points?
like the battle system is like a kind of get annoying on higher difficulties when you're controlling one character, and then like it always feels like that character is drawing the aggro from the other enemies. So like you're always being
Mm-hmm.
attacked when regardless of like what character you're using, it feels like you're always the target of being attacked. And then like since you can only control one character at a time, you don't have the complete like minutia control over the other characters as much as you'd like to be. Because you can still like give them actions when their ATB bar fills, but you're not actively controlling them all at the same time. Versus like the old style of like the bar fills, you give one person you give one person an action to do. So it's like you don't have the same control as you did in the original, but you kind of do. But it's not as it feels more limited to when you're because like the way the combat works now, it's more actiony. So like stuff is happening all the time, but it's like you don't have the control that. But or like certain sequences or parts can feel like you don't have the control that you would like to have. And if you're always getting targeted by the enemy, which you seem to do when you're the main person, it's like, okay, well, if this is happening to me, I need my other teammates to like step up here. But it's like they don't feel like they hold their own on like the hard mode difficulty sometimes, and it's just like, dude, like you let me down, Tifa, you let me down, Barrett. Like I got a bit like heated and frustrated sometimes. I'm just like wanting to get very angry and just like, come on, guys, like we have a world to save here, and I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. Like just it just yeah. So you can like fall a bit short on higher difficulty, which was a bit frustrating. And then like I said, the whole limitations on the like textures, but it's only like certain things. Like some of them up close look kind of and then like the far away stuff always looks kind of not as good as the stuff up close. And then like the worlds are so big that they made, you can tell that it's a technical limitation. Like the environments when you're in Midgard, like anywhere almost anywhere rather, when you look up and you see the plate above you and it's like held up like it was in before, but since you now have a 3D camera and it's like open world light, but it's so cool to just like pan the camera around and be like, oh, I'm in Midgard and it looks so good. It just that's like when the light went off in my head, dude. I'm just like, I cannot effing wait to go to Gold Saucer and just like see the giant tower of like places to go and just like go on like the tram ride and just Gold Saucer is gonna be so effing good. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So
And then like the
so
part with the submarine and like I want to like if you even get like your vehicles in the open world, I can't wait. That's why it's like outside Midgar. I can't wait to see what they do. Even though like on the bummer side, it's like this is only part one and who knows when like the next part's gonna be.
how many hours was this game?
My first playthrough was like 40 to 45 hours,
That's not bad for a game.
and I've already put over 100 hours in. So,
So,
and I'm closing in on the platinum. So I will for sure have that by the end of the month.
what trophies do you still need to get the platinum?
There's there's these things in there's battle coliseums that you can go to, and like you face off against a bunch of enemies in a gauntlet, and so there's
Hmm.
like one more I need to do. And then once I get that, I get this weapon that I imagine has the final weapon skill I haven't learned, because as you're using weapons, you get abilities from them. And so once you learn the ability, you don't have to use it, and you can just switch to something else. So if you have like better weapons, you're not really stuck using them. And the
Hmm.
points are distributed where you don't have to worry about not having to whatever. The point system is like good and it's not stupid. It's like an easy way to say that for the skill points for the weapons. And like if you automatically do it, which I did, it's like it works where it automatically just keeps putting them in to the things you want to put them into. But there's like one more weapon I need to get from that last battle coliseum, which you can only get on hard, or not battle coliseum, but like the battle whatever the battle in the coliseum in the arena.
Hmm.
It's got like a
Hmm.
bunch of enemies. The final enemy is really hard, and when I first went in there, I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know what it was going to do right off the bat, and it hit me with like this beam that did 99 damage, so I instantly died. And I was like, oh, didn't know this was gonna happen, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna come back to this because I don't feel like doing this right now. Because I was like, dude, you'll have your time, enemy that did that to me, and I'll dog walk you later, but not right now. So there's
Take it, take
that.
it, take 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 it. Dog walk him later. Take it, take it, take it.
so
Get out of
there's
there.
so
Get
there's
out of there.
that, which is one of them. Beating that is one of them. 'Cause that's like the last thingy. And then like the weapon I get will give me the weapon skill, and that's like I think there's three more I have, and that's two of them. And like the third one, you get the enemy skill materia, and I've only gotten three of the enemy skills, but I thought I had all of them, but I guess I don't. So I gotta figure out which one I need to get. But then luckily there's this ability from a materia called assess, so you can like scan all the enemies, and then like see what their weaknesses are, see what like all their crap is, and then like it'll give you like a green thingy as far as like which ones you can learn enemy skills from. And so in that like the last two battles in the arena on hard, I didn't scan some of the enemies because I still have like three I haven't scanned, because it gives you a log of like what you've done and like what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know there's like
Mm-hmm.
three in there that I need to scan, and like the probability is pretty high that one of them is it. And even if it isn't, I already have the list of all the enemies that like have them, since there's only four that have an enemy skill. So once I learn that, that's it. And I think that's all I'm missing. It's just the enemy skill, weapon skill, and the super secret final enemy in that arena. I think that's all I'm missing.
Wow, it's
So I
gonna be
finished on hard
interesting.
mode, and that was, oof, man, hard mode was definitely challenging. I
But you
enjoyed it.
finished it.
I did.
Very good. Okay. So how many of these Final Fantasy VII parts are going to be? What do you think? Are they going to go to
Dude,
every city?
that's the other thing
And
is it's
it's
Square Enix, so I feel like they're gonna milk it because that's kind of
oh
what
yeah.
Square Enix does now, which is why I said like even though playing the game felt like SquareSoft of old, it's like you know that in like the current existence of Square Enix, they are like a corporate evil overlord entity. They cannot be trusted. So
Oh jeez.
it's like I don't even know, dude. Like I'm not optimistic about it. Like let me look at my because actually when I was playing the original, I busted out my old school Final Fantasy 7 strategy guide. And let's see how many errors there are in the original. In the original, there's let's see. It goes from A to Z, and then it's got double A, double B, double C, double D, double E. That's how many errors there are. So there's like over 20. There's like, let's see, that's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, there's 30 areas. All right. So I mean, some of them are like hidden, so it's like not technically where you're gonna go to.
Okay, but if okay, just think of it like this. Okay, you got your introductory town or
Mm-hmm.
city. All right, so just think of it like, okay, how many of the big cities do you need to hit before you finish, right? Because I'm thinking they'll just kind of, you'll have your offshoots, right? Your little towns or whatever. But how many of the big cities are there in the game?
Okay, I'll just go down the list because that's a lot funner. So Maker's already done.
That's a lot funner.
Yeah,
Are you in
more
Florida?
enjoyable. Um,
For funner.
Then we've got Calm, which okay, I'd say Calm is probably going to be on there. It could be skippable, but there's a lot of stuff it sets up, so it's like, yeah. Chocobo Ranch, skippable. They might just like lump it in with Calm. Mithril Mines, skippable. It's just a random mine, so whatever. Fort Condor, I'd say it is required because it shows a flashpoint with Shinra versus the people. Fort or Junan's for sure going to be in there. Costa del Sol for sure. Mount Corel North and Corel. Mm, yeah, because it's a whole thing. You go there. It's a mountain. It's like, oh man, this is pretty crazy. We're crossing this mountain, guys. Gold Saucer. Yep. Gungaga. Yep. Cause that's where Zach's from. So it's got to be in there. Gold Sauce. Oh, wait, no, I said Gold Saucer. Cosmo Canyon. Oh yeah, dude. Gotta go there. Wutai. Yep. Nibelheim. Yep. Rocket Town. Yep. That's where Sid's at. Mount Nibble. That's skippable because it's just another mountain. So maybe not. Bone Village. Yep. Because that's where stuff goes down. Icicle Inn. Mm, I would say yes because like it would give you a reference point for the northern continent and the frozen tundra area. Temple of the Ancients. Oh yeah, cannot wait. Mediel, yes, because there's a very plot centric part. I'm not gonna spoil it. Takes place there. Um, Crater. Oh yeah, dude. That's like yeah. That's for sure in there. Oh, okay. Some of these actually looks after T. It looks like some of these are kind of they could just cut. So Sleepy Man is just like a dude that gives you some stuff and like hidden items. So they could cut that and just put it somewhere else. Weapon Cellar, same thing. Ancient Forest is a secret area that opens up. Well, you can get to it before if you have a gold chocobo or something to get there. But before that, it's like it only opens up after you kill like a certain enemy in the game later on. So it could or could not be. I would hope they keep it. Just 'cause it's like a cool area with like a bunch of different branching paths. Chocobo Sage, they could cut that because it's just some dude that gives you chocobo stuff. They could just put it wherever. And then we've got the appendix area of like materia caves, which they could just cut all those. There's like four of them. So there's materia cave 1, 2, 3, 4, which give you like hidden materia, but they could just like put that wherever. So, or just have it be like side quest or some sort of super duper secret hard quest or something. Goblin Forest, Cactar Island, and Chocobo Tracks. Oh, Double E's are okay. So Double E's are just a bunch of like places where you can get chocobos, but I imagine it's not like a specific area, so that could just be like wherever if they're gonna give us open world. And then Goblin Forest and Cactar Island, I imagine they could cut because it's like I don't even remember spending time on those. So, and I mean Cactar Island could be for the fans, but it's like, And then I mean Goblin Forest is probably only good for learning the Goblin Punch from the enemy skill. So, but yeah, like the first however many up to letter T, those all look like they're or most of them are pretty essential. So that's quite a few. But like as far as like splitting them in the parts then, because this was only one part in one city, so it's like a 1-to-1. And I guess Midgar is kind of like the biggest, so it kind of deserves its own game. So if there's like, gosh, I wish I was like counting these as I did them. Hold on. So that was one, and then two, three. You know, whatever. It's like I'm fully expecting there to be like at most 10 parts, and then we'll see where we're at once we get to part 10.
Jeez,
But
it's a lot of parts.
if it doesn't go up to part 10, I'd be happy too, because it's like I would like them to But then it's like I kind of don't want them to like rush it and like just take their time, because this was part one was so good, dude. So it's like if they're all as good as this one, I don't really care honestly how many it takes.
Even though you know what's going to
Yeah, because I
happen.
know it's gonna happen. So it's like I don't really. It's like I'm not really on the hook of like, oh, what's gonna happen next? What's happening next episode or next issue or next time? Because I already know.
So,
But then they
so
kind
what
of
happens
just,
if they so what happens if they change it?
if they change it, they change it. It's whatever.
If people who are supposed to die don't die, we think more people be upset that the characters didn't die, or that the characters died, or that what do you think would be more of an uproar, that
Mm,
that they stuck to it and they could have changed it, or that they didn't change it, or that they did change it and they reckon the original vision.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like that it's gonna be equal amount of controversy either way, because of if they don't go the way the original went, it's like, oh, you didn't stick to the original. But it's like, if it feels like in this one towards the end that they are kind of setting it up that like they can do whatever the f they want, because it even says like after the credits, we will continue the unknown journey or something. So it's like they're kind of like setting it up to like have you feel like you don't even know it's ahead of you, which is what I
Yeah.
like. So
Okay.
I honestly would not be upset either way, because I'm just enjoying it. So
Good.
because I love Seven, and just I've always been a fan. So to revisit it on like current technology and just the way that they've done it is just ah man, like that I get okay. So so since I said it took 40 hours to beat this game. So it's like I spent like 40ish hours over the course of 3 days, like which is 72 hours. So it's like I
Yeah.
basically did not sleep very much
No.
and just cracked out on this game, and just like
How many mandarin oranges did you eat?
I don't know.
Yeah, you went through them all.
But yeah, that's my favorite time, is like when I'm just like going through a game and it's like you
Call for
don't sleep, and like
get get some
you
pizza.
just play and
Only
play and
cheese.
play, and you marathon it, and it's just like you get to the end and it's just like yes. It's just like playing that just like reaffirmed my love for JRPGs, of like why they are so good. It's because they are so long, but they do such a good job of like building up the characters, the world, and the story, and just like why they are like one of my favorite genres. And just like because I haven't played a really good one in a while, so I think Nier Automata was like the last one that was like really good this generation. That being said, I've been like skipping over them because like crap like Destiny has been like pulling me away, like 'cause it's such a time investment. So it's just like it's just a reaffirmation
Um,
of that, to like have that and be like, you know what, JRPGs are legit, and like I do love them, so I should play them more and stuff. So I kind of want to play some more now. So that was very nice of just yeah JRPGs.
That's good. Anything else you've been playing?
Uh, Destiny 2 has this thing called Guardian Games, where it's kind of like the Olympics, but the Warlocks are losing, which is what I play. Or that's my main class. Is I play all three, but it's like my main is the Warlocks, and it's like this competition between the classes, like Hunters, Titan, Warlocks. Warlocks are losing the last 2 days though, so it's kind of a bummer, because it's like, well, I play Warlock, and I would like think we're the best, but we're not winning, so we're not the best. So I feel that makes me like just not want to play. It's just like whatever, dude. In Monster Hunter, there's like a new monster coming out, with like a bunch of elements, Arch-Tempered Namiel, and then New Kulf Taroth. I haven't played that yet though, so I have been playing. There's a festival going on in that of the whatever, I forgot what it's called, but the handler gets a fancy dress and it's very funny. And when you see her in a fancy dress, and it's like this was that was like not what I was expecting, but whatever. And like the event armor is like this fancy suit of like flowers, and it's ridiculous. I think it's Flu Bloom Fest actually is what it's called. Yeah, it probably is because it's celebrating the cherry blossom sakura stuff in Japan probably. So, but it's just so silly. That game never gets old. It's so fun. I love it. Um, I think that's all I've been playing, because Final Fantasy 7 I've been cracking out on that since it came out, and Destiny 2 I dabble in every now and then. Same with Monster Hunter. Um, I did revisit 7 and 10 and 10 too though. So that because nothing. Oh, Resident Evil 3, dude. Resident Evil 3 is a good effing game. It's all I'll say that it's not like I will say it's not as good in my opinion of a remake as two because it doesn't have the branching paths, so it's much more limited than the original. But it is still like up there with two as far as like a it does pay tribute to the original good, like the like two did. So it's a nice reimagining and like revisitation of that. And I could never get the original three. Like the last time I played it, I just like got to the part where we played Carlos, and I just didn't want to play anymore. I was like, this is Jill. I don't know. Just I stopped caring. I stalled out. Like I just I could never make it through the original. And then like to finally be able to like finish it and be like, yes, I exercised the demon. Nemesis, man, it's it's really cool though, like to like play after playing two, because Mr. X is like kind of threatening, but like he doesn't. You don't get very far into the game, and Nemesis is already down your throat, dude. So it's like from beginning to end, dude. Like you're just like stalked by a BT or a BOW, and it's just like that's intense. And it's cool because like I felt like it put Jill above Chris and or Claire and Leon. So I was like, Claire and Leon have like survived an outbreak in a city, but were they chased down by a BOW the entire time?
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
just like comes through her apartment wall, and you're just like, what? And just the initial chase sequence, dude, that was intense. That's man, it's an intense game, dude. Just like being chased down by Nemesis, and just I mean, that being said, like I said, the original they did some differences, so it's not. It doesn't really feel like it's as intense as I thought it would be after playing Mr. X, but it is at some points when he's there, but then he's not always there. So that's like the weird thing. But it was a good game and I enjoyed it. It was good modern re-envisioning, but it lacks like the extra content in two that you get after you finish it. Like there's no third or fourth survivor or tofu survivor, and then they added a bunch of like three campaigns or bonus campaigns, mini campaigns anyway to the game after it launched. So I'm hoping they're going to add some more stuff besides adding to the standalone multiplayer that I'll never play, since that's like a weird choice that they made with the resources to like do standalone multiplayer. So whatever. But yes, I did play Resident Evil 3, and I would give it a thumbs up, seal of approval if you're a fan and you want to play it and check it out, and you haven't yet.
Perfect. And so, what games are coming out in the near future that you want to that you still got your eye on? Has everything been kind of pushed back because of the COVID-19?
That's the bummer part, dude. Next month was going to be Last of Us Part 2, and Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece. It is easily one of my favorite PS3 games, and just like one of my favorite games in like series. Even though there's like only like what one or two games, like one game in a spinoff. It's so good. It's so good. I was looking so forward to it so much, and they're like, this is gonna be on two Blu-ray discs because there's so much content, and I was like, ow, and it got delayed indefinitely. So it's like we didn't even have a release date now. It's like that's a bummer, dude. And that just puts
So,
like
are you thinking that they can just say, okay, let's put this on the PS5?
no, it's already done. It's like okay. It's not gold, I don't believe, but like
But they have the time to kind of
they've
do.
already spent so much time and resources developing it. They might as
All right,
well put it out
let's
on,
uh,
like on
let's
current console.
let's talk about
Why
PS5. All
would
right,
they like? What that
you've
wouldn't make any sense to just
what about
like
Final Fantasy? Should the next one be on PS5 or is it going to be on PS4?
yeah, it should be on PS5. If anything that's like currently in production should finish and wrap, and then your next thing should be on PS5.
But it doesn't happen that way.
I mean, you could also cross-gen it, where it's like you put it out on this, and then it comes out on PS5 too, and it's just a bit upgraded. Whatever you couldn't do before, you can do now.
So you've seen some of the stats for the PS5 now, have you not?
Yeah.
You've picked it through with a fine tooth comb. You've compared it to the PS4. You've put it up against the Microsoft system that's coming out. You've slept at night and you've thought about it. You've drawn pictures of it in your serial. You've done all this kind of stuff about the PS5. You go take don't forget the PS5 take. You saved all your stimulus money because the only thing that stimulates you right now is the PS5. It's so what exactly is the PS5 going to offer me, the not as adamant gamer that I once was? What does it give me to make me want to pick it up as compared to the
Well, if
PS4?
you're talking about just like pure stats, it's gonna be basically faster loading, and then better. I mean, that's the thing. We haven't seen anything, so it's like you can only since they haven't really shown anything for Xbox One Series X or PS5. It's kind of annoying, honestly, because you can't just like look at a game and be like, okay, well this is on PS5 and looks so much better. I just
Stupid
so it's kind of
COVID
annoying. A
taking all of our
for that
fun.
reason, and then B because like E3 got canceled, so it's like I don't even know when they're going to show their stuff. It's like the sooner they show it, the more we can just like because we're already like salivating
Piss on it
and just. I think I
because
talked about
that's
this
what.
last time, but like it's like the hype is palpable, and like everybody's just like wanting to see more or know more, and like that's why. It's because once they show it, we can all be like, ah, and just like I'm gonna get it, yeah, ah, and just
Just like Joe Biden's vice president today.
yeah, because F Joe Biden.
Tag. F Joe Biden. Tag.
Oh man, that's yeah.
Anyway, so it's okay. So what? You've seen the stats though. The stats have come up. So compared to PS4, you're saying a faster load time, and I take it better graphics.
I mean, it's
How can
basically
it get
it's
better? How can
weird.
it be
They showed their
better?
developers their developer talk that they had was basically just like it's gonna be really fast, and then the boosting will be all the time, as far as like the clock speed or whatever. I don't know, dude. It was like so esoteric, and honestly, I'm like past the point of like caring. Honestly, I just want to play games. So it's
So
like
is it a system just to have a system? That's my thing. Is it going to be a revolutionary kind of a thing, or is it just another something to
no,
be put
no,
out
no,
there
no,
to
no,
sell
no,
it?
no, 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 no. Jeez. Okay, so I guess like on the base level, you could at least say it's going to have ray tracing. Which, if you don't know what ray tracing is, it's basically like it's this lighting source and lighting system that's basically brand pretty
It,
pretty pretty new.
let's say that is it like it so you with the PS4 it's like being humped by a brown bear, but that you're saying it's in PS5 you're being humped by a black bear, so therefore and not to be racist, but I'm
What
just
the
saying,
f?
but it's it's a different if it's a different kind of bear is if it's the same bear it's just a different color, and that's what I'm saying is it just basically it's this PS4 PS5 it's the same thing, it's just a little different, and that's all. But it's still the same kind of thing.
Essentially, it's
It's
basically,
it's
I mean, it's kind of what
it's still
consoles
a
are
bear.
now.
It's
Consoles are
still a
basically
bear
just like
humping
Pepsi
you.
Coke because it's basically you're playing games on whatever and it's going to look like whatever.
Okay, so
And the
well,
only
what's a
difference is the games in first party.
PlayStation is what Pepsi or Coke
Does
in
it
your world?
matter?
Yes, for you, what would it matter? Because it
I
matters. Some
don't drink
people are Coke
soda.
drink. Well, just think. What do you think between Coke and Xbox? What do you think?
Okay, fine. I'll give a different analogy then. Like effing PlayStation is like Nestle water, and then Xbox is Dasani water.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's for me. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. That is absolutely perfect because I drink Nestle water, and I think Dasani water is piss. So that's perfect. Not that I've ever drank
But
piss,
water
but
is water, so it's like, what does it even
but if
matter?
I were to imagine what piss tastes like, it would be Dasani water. If I was in a desert and somebody came and said, "Hey, we got some water for you," and you went, "Oh, thank you," and they said it's Dasani, I went, "No, thank you."
And then Nintendo can
That's
be generic store brand water because it's just water, so whatever.
I would
Or
and I
tap
would take
water, whatever.
and I would take tap water,
Or PC
but not
Gaming's tap
Dasani
water.
water. There you go. Oh, look at you made it funny. Look at you. All right, so perfect. All right, so that's good. So it's just faster load times. You can't really do much for graphics because unless they start marketing for the
That's
4K
not
world.
true, dude. Because this gen, we didn't even have 1080p 60 frames on every game. So it's like next gen, it's like the goal is 4K. So it's like even though I mean I don't have 4K TV, so it's like whatever. But it's like that is still like at least a even marginal. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say it's marginal though, because it's like at least double, right?
Yeah.
1080 and 4K. It's like so. It's like it's still a decent jump in like visual fidelity. And then they had this thing where they talked about the whole 3D
Digital
audio
fidelity.
thing.
Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy, Mr. Poet here. Digital fidelity. That's good. Two minutes ago, you're getting humped by a bear, and now you're dealing with the digital fidelity.
Graphical fidelity, but but then like also PS5 is going for like the whole 3D audio, and they had this whole like heat map of like how people hear. It was like it's a whole weird thing. You have to look at the presentation. It's very interesting though. Um, and I guess like backwards compatibility. I mean, if you care, okay, here's the thing about backwards compatibility is like I will personally say that I believe Xbox does it better because it's just built in, and But then the thing is like it doesn't support everything. That's like whatever. If you have a disc, you can't just like pop it in and play. It's like it's just a specific list that they have of like these games work or they don't. But they're still
Okay.
working on it, I guess. So it's like it could grow and expand. And then from PS5, it seems that
I'm
most,
still
if
waiting
not
for.
all,
I'm
of
still
the
waiting
stuff
for.
from PS4 is going to work. But like that's kind of like the cutoff. It's like they didn't really say anything about PS3 or PS2, which is a bummer. Because I was hoping it'd be like universal and you could just like play whatever. But that's not the way it works. So it's like that's also kind of a
Let's
bummer.
be. What would you pay in PS2? What would you play?
uh, Time Splitters. Let's see, Xenosaga. Oh man, Xenosaga, so good. Like all the JRPGs that like we just didn't get after PS3. What else would I play? PS2. There's so many games. There's so many games, but it's like Burnout 3,
Tricky.
SSX3.
SSX
Yeah,
tricky.
the
Yeah.
classics.
Not three. Three was a. I never
Dude,
played
don't diss
three.
SSX3, dude.
Tricky.
SSX3 is the best
Tricky.
SSX game, and if you disagree,
Excuse
you're
me.
wrong.
Excuse
I
me.
will fight you in the street.
Tricky. 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 Tricky.
Street fight, hand to
Street
hand,
fight.
fist to fist, nose to nose,
Yeah.
skin to skin.
Jump. Jump off your balcony
Muay
and
Thai
down on your
bare fist, jump
motorbike.
off balcony. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's happening.
Yeah. Tricky was the
The
better
three
one.
peaks and like they were interconnected, and you could just like go from the top of one to the bottom. That was effing
Well, I
awesome.
hope
And like the
so. That's
soundtrack
part
was
of the game.
great. The Uber tricks were great, or
And
the
and
monster
when you
tricks.
and when you get your
The
tricky all
soundtrack
done,
was amazing.
did did it go tricky
Big
tricky
effing deal. It
tricky?
doesn't have tricky in it. I don't effing
Oh,
care.
then I don't. And then we're done
Wow,
with
it
this
has so it
argument.
has like a sample of Run DMC that just makes it the best game ever.
Yes,
Wrong.
and Kessen. I need to get Kessen.
You, Kessin.
Yep, Kessen.
Is
So
that
there
the
you
game that
go.
you were talking about like all the time back in the day of like the Honda guy?
Yeah, oh Honda, he's the man. He still is. Every day I wake up and I thank the world for a couple things, and one is Honda, because Honda, if I needed somebody to come in and save the day, Honda and his army would come in and kick major butt. I loved it. I loved it. It'd take like 3 hours to play one war, but oh, was it a good one? And then I get enough energy that I'd be able to have the cannons, and so my major chief would just go right up there and he'd knock them all out, and then Honda would come in, and he wouldn't even have to. But I said, you know something, Honda, you go in there and wipe them all out, and Honda would. It was beautiful. Just grab the scraps because you're my favorite, and he did.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned the whole PS2 thing because recently they had the 20th anniversary, and then we had like a whole thing about it on the podcast where we talked about PS2 games for like a really long time, and we went over
Well,
time.
thanks for inviting me.
But I
You know,
don't know where I put my notes. I'm trying to find them, but I didn't
ever
put them on
since
my
I
phone
was
apparently.
I've been banned, you never invite me. Anyways. All right, buddy. So what else do you want to talk about? You want to talk more about Joe Biden, your future
Not really.
president? Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever happened to
Jonathan Biden, dude. It's like what? Okay, so
whatever
like
happened
you're
to
Canadian, you're on
Hillary's?
the outside. So like when you see Joe Biden, do you like know what his platform or his like policies are that like that you just know are so appealing to everybody of like why he's winning?
He's gonna cure cancer during his term.
Hmm.
He's the anti against the other one. I don't want to say his name just in case I get banned from crossing the border. Though I don't really want to cross the border, but one day I will have to. So, and if he's still president, that's going to be tough. So, I'm planning. I'm thinking about going to Vegas next April. Though the way things are going down in Vegas right now, with the mayor saying, "Oh, come on, everybody can let's open up the casinos again." It's like, I don't think so. Filtered air or the recycled air? Oh, I don't know. I don't think so, buddy. But there's a marathon down there that I want to train for to get back into the thick of things, right? So we're gonna see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I would like to go back to Vegas one more time.
Oh yeah, Boston Marathon got canceled this year, so you couldn't have run it even if you would have qualified. So at least there's
I
that.
know. It was postponed to September, I do believe. So yeah. So everybody's still going. It's just September is going to be so. But all the big races this year have been canceled because of this, right? So at least in the early portion, we'll see what happens, with the Florida and see what's happening.
Everything, Comic Con, even comic book shops are like closed,
Yep.
and like the comic industry is suffering. I saw that on Twitter.
Yep. There's been no comics out.
Yeah, no new stuff, no new material. So
Um,
I'm gonna try to catch up on my X books because I am behind,
well, you got
and I've
lots of
got
time to
plenty of
do it.
time. Yeah.
Well, they're saying May still, right? So that's good. So they'll still have you still get a chance to get in for May, and then get all read up for May, and then hopefully everything will be back
Yeah,
up
it's
and
like the
running
one
by then.
unfortunate thing for me, like with Last of Us getting delayed, is like next month is I'm just gonna catch up on everything and be finally caught up with everything, and then take a break from certain things. But
Bathing,
hopefully, I can catch up on all the stuff I want to catch up on.
good. That's the plan. Oh, buddy, we even talked for 2 hours. Isn't that something? Remember when you texted me in the morning and said, "Hey, I'm ready to go," and I was still asleep. And now see to say that it never happened on your side of things when I'm texting you and you're asleep and this time I was asleep. Yeah, there you go. Now we're even.
Or even.
Yep. All right. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Um. Yeah, I mean, not really. It's just F Joe Biden, dude. F him,
No,
because
you're not in F Joe Biden.
I'm
Joe
just
Biden's your next
angry. I'm
president.
not. I mean, I'm not like I don't really feel that way. I'm just angry and upset. I'm bitter. I'm very bitter about the whole Bernie Sanders thing. It's just like it got to me, dude.
It was too
I even
revolutionary.
donated to his campaign, dude. Like
Yes, you did.
I've never donated to anything political, and like I donated
And
to the campaign,
and
and
what's he gonna do with
I
that
fed the
$5?
machine, and
I
it
don't.
still wasn't enough, dude. Like I am very
Yeah.
upset. Like I am
Yeah.
like I've not been. I mean, I'm not like I'm a pretty headed dude. So it's like I'm not really like super duper angry or whatever. But like I'm
But
like
somebody's getting stabbed
simmering,
tonight for this.
simmering flames a bit. Just like just every time I just sit in silence and think as I'm like stuck inside. I'm just like effing Joe Biden. Like I can't even like say his name without saying the F word. Like I mean I can because I don't say that, but cause I put like a tweet out, like a post on Facebook out, like on the Iowa caucuses, like the day before. I was like, just please Iowa, not Joe effing Biden, and like Joe Biden didn't win, and I was like, oh my gosh, and just like it was just like a roller coaster ride of just like everything is going up, and then South Carolina, and it's all going down. But guess who in California? I'm just saying, not Joe effing Biden. So it's like I don't know, dude. I don't ever know. It's like I don't know anymore. It's like I don't know. I don't know. Whatever, man. Just yeah, whatever. It's like does he have any policies or that whatever that could just like help us in the trying times that we're in? And I don't think he does. So it's like whatever, dude. I'm not gonna like get too preachy here on the podcast, but I am upset. Tekken is angry and upset. Every time I do try to Tekken, I bring it up. I'm just like, man, these primaries are effing sucking the way they're going. And now it's like this next month when I do it, it's gonna be like Joe effing Biden, dude. Effing Joe Biden. It's just like 10 minutes of that at the beginning. I'm sorry, everybody, but like I gotta get off my chest because ah, effing Joe Biden, effing Biden. Ah. I probably like whisper it out in my sleep as I'm sleeping. I'm probably just like Joe effing Biden, Joe effing Biden. It just like enrages me. Just I don't know what it is. Just I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have like the sexual assault allegation. But like after that, dude, I was like, you know what? F the DNC and F the Dims. Like I hope it blows up in their effing face and just like it all comes around and they get their comeuppances. It's like, oh, you got your guy in, or like you had him and he was like the front dude and the front runner, and then look what happened. He was as bad as the other guy, and the whole time you were pushing them and shoving them down their throats, just like Hillary. And I hope it feels great, because this is exactly what happened last time, and you're all a bunch of losers, because this is what you do every time, every effing time. It's like, how can we f this up? Oh, I know what we can do. Put forward a weak ass effing candidate that's just terrible, and nobody likes. Or just isn't doesn't whatever. I'm not gonna whatever. Working class man. Wouldn't it be great if
So you're
anybody cared
saying
about us?
whatever?
I'm just gonna get off my rant here because I just like
There,
I'm
that's
gonna
the
let it go.
spirit.
I'm gonna let it go because I got Ghost in the Shell to watch today, so I'm gonna be happy.
Yes.
Well, Altered Carbon, dude, just watch it. Like, just trust me, it's amazing. Just, I mean, maybe you're not into sci-fi and that stuff, but then
Well,
like,
you know something.
whatever.
I'm
If
gonna
that's not your cup
challenge
of
you then.
tea, but if it is, dude, you've been missing out because it was on Netflix for like a while before I watched it. And
I'm gonna challenge you to
I was
then
like, dude, that
something.
was amazing.
I'll watch your carbon altered whatever, and then you're gonna watch the Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, dude, I watched Dark Side of the Ring. I was gonna ask you about that, but I completely forgot. But like, I watched the Chris Benoit episode. I watched
Oh,
the New Jack episode, and
oh,
then there's some other episodes I watched. But like, dude, Dark Side of the Ring
yep,
is my jam. Like, that is like
yep.
good stuff.
This week was
Oh,
the assassination of Dino Bravo.
Brawl for All. I watched that episode too.
Yep.
I mean, I watched it on YouTube, so like technically, it's kind of probably like not watching it right way, like or like whatever. I don't care because I don't have
Well,
cable. So
I watch it on Daily Motion, so it's yeah. So this week was the assassination of Dino Bravo. So, New Jack. What's your thoughts on New Jack?
that was crazy, dude. That was man. That was very intense. that was
Hmm.
I thought that was a very interesting like the person becomes the personality situation,
Yeah.
and just like it took over his life and kind of ruined
Yeah.
it, and he is
Yeah.
like infamous now and like has a bad name.
And so he picked up a guy 25 feet in the air, and he's a big guy he picked up, and then the big guy landed on his head, and between him and his head was cement. So he cracked his skull,
Yeah, I
and
watched
then
another documentary about ECW where he talked about that
yeah,
on YouTube. And
like
then like he was talking about like in that match where he threw him off like on the table match when they had like all the stacks of tables. He like
yeah,
wanted to kill him. Is like what
yeah,
he said.
yeah. Well, you saw how he bounced off the ropes, right? That
Yeah.
wasn't, yeah. So he
Well, he
didn't
did say
care.
that too. He's like, I didn't want him to land in the ring. It's like, holy crap.
No, yeah. That is a great series. The Dark Side of the Ring. I've enjoyed season one. This is season two, and yeah, it's some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I
So
watched it.
good.
I watched an excerpt from one of the episodes. I don't know if it was an excerpt, but like it was like a mini because like from the official page that does it, and it was like
Hmm.
the one where Miss Elizabeth got slapped. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
That guy did like a perfect McMahon impression, dude. I was just like, that was spot effing on. That was like so perfect. He's like, "You're gonna slap her," and it's like, man, that was good.
Yep.
That was like him. I was like, that is the best Vince McMahon impression I have ever heard in my life. That was
That's
great.
right. Well, good. Well, we'll keep on talking about that next time we talk, and we'll see. Because, like I said, Dino Bravo, the assassination of Dino Bravo was this week, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Not as good as I liked Brawl for All. Brawl for All was this. Even I didn't know a lot about Brawl for All, and so it was nice to know some of the behind the scenes and how Jim Cornette. Oh my God, he can still. Oh, he's fantastic. But well, when he looks at the camera, he goes, "Ah, you're doing things something that I've loved all my life. Nobody might want to kill you." It's like, oh, it's perfect. Anyways, so yeah, it's a good one. Enjoy it. And
wasn't
then
there
Doctor D is next week, which is gonna be even better.
wasn't there I'm trying to think 'cause I feel like there was something you told me to watch or asked me to watch and I watched it and we came back and I talked about it. I can't remember like what it was. Like something that was like streaming or something. Was there?
Nah, I can't
A
remember.
couple episodes ago or something. I don't remember. I have to go back and check. But yeah, man, Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon is like my jam.
Altered Carbon. Okay, I will look at that. You keep watching the Dark Side of the Ring, and I'll be happy.
And
All
then
right.
like lately, it's where like what I'm doing in between stuff that's like super good and intense is like all like palate cleanse with like crappy reality dating shows or just like reality shows. It's a whole thing. So I've been watching
Oh,
Love Is
Tack.
Blind in between stuff, and it's
Is
just
it is it with a blind person?
no. It's basically you have like two people in a room talking to each other, and like they supposedly are supposed to like fall in love and like propose like right there on the spot and get married,
Uh,
and it basically just like follows that whole process. Man,
Tekken.
it's crazy.
Just jump off the balcony, get on the motorcycle, and drive away now. You're heading down a bad path, man. Heading down a bad
I
path.
don't know, dude. I just do that sometime on Netflix. Is like I'll be like watching certain things, but then like I have to palate cleanse with like bad stuff to be like, oh yeah, this stuff's terrible. This is why I watch only the good stuff and just like have a balance. So between that and Final Fantasy, like that's the thing is like I couldn't. It was hard to play stuff after Final Fantasy because it was so good. I was like, how can I come down from this? It was just so good. It was just like, dude, like anything I play after this will be terrible. But then I played Destiny. I was like, which is the same old, same old. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't didn't have the dramatic effect, which kind of worked.
All right, buddy. Well, we've had some fun.
Yes, we have.
Sign us off, by
All
Patty
right.
Boy.
Well, uh, Not a lot of comic book talk today in this episode, but I
Nope,
hope you
because
all
there's no
enjoyed
comic
it.
books to. There's no comic. I've been reading Sandman Mystery Theater. That's been my and Garth Ennis's The Punisher, which is fantastic.
Oh. Well, the more I see it on
It,
Twitter, the more I'm looking forward to the Joker. I think it's like 800 or whatever. The one with Punchline, her debut. That looks interesting.
oh, yeah, we'll
She's no
see.
Harley Quinn, but I'm interested. So
Well, she has the boom shabooms. Absolutely.
she booms.
That's all that Tekken cares about is boom shabooms. Thump 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 thump. Oh.
I mean, I guess we could like talk about that real quick at the end here. Like, do you think like that's one of the possibilities of like another thing being wiped out by the pandemic is comic book shops, or do you think they're going to survive?
I think there's going to be a lot of them that go down. I do believe. I think there's going to be a lot. Every industry, we're going to have a big chunk. Like restaurants, they're saying that more than 50% are going to not be able to come back. Comic book shops, I think, unless you are the primo de primo, I think these ones that are just struggling are gone. Sadly, if you're not essential for people's lives, I think we're going to see a big shift. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to have, depression era kind of thing. I think we're getting out of it soon enough that we don't go down that depression. But if it goes longer than it needs, well, if it goes any longer, then there's going to be some problems. But I think you're gonna see some bad fallout from this. I really truly do.
Okie
I truly
dokie.
do.
Do you think
But I
do you
think
think
I think
do you think on the other
I think
side when we're like out of it that it's gonna be like a rebound as far as like restaurants and movie theaters, as far as like just the numbers are gonna be through the roof?
okay. So let's take a look at China, shall we? So China was on the lockdown, and when the lockdown came, when they alleviated the lockdown, everybody thought it was Florida and beaches because they all stormed everywhere. The Great Wall of China was like packed. People were like 2 inches from each other and doing that. And all of a sudden the spikes went back up again, right? So they have to, again, say, okay, people just want to get out and do stuff. And let's go see the Great Wall of China, or let's go to the beach, or let's go to a movie. This year is going to be a very rough year for businesses, and because for some people it's like you open the beach, everybody wants to go out, okay, but do you want to be in the same movie theater with somebody? No. Like Tekken, you didn't want to go anywhere any to begin with, and you're still doing
Yeah,
that.
it's so
So
weird, dude. It's like this hasn't really disrupted me. It's just like the
yeah.
same old, same old. I just can't leave. So
Like you caused it, and now the whole world,
there.
the whole world is now shaping itself to be you.
I was just like
You
sitting at
you
home
molded this world. This is
playing video
Tekken's world.
games, going out once a week to get groceries. Now I can't go out ever to get groceries. So
No, eating cheese pizza, like that's that's the mark of an insane person. Cheese
hoping
pizza.
hoping Bernie pulls it out, but he didn't. So it's like,
Why
oh,
why don't you like pepperoni?
I, I, I'm trying to cut back on my meat eating. That's why.
Because you're 130 pounds.
No, just because it's. I watch too many documentaries on Netflix, dude, and it just like it influences me as far as like what I do. So it's like when I watched Food Inc., I was like, I can't really eat meat anymore because it's ugh, it grossed me out. I mean, not that I did a
Okay,
lot in
so
the first
so
place,
so
and then
so
like
if you
also just like no corn, no high fructose corn syrup, which is like a lot of things. So it's like yeah. I
Bob,
mean, I guess that's like the thing is like you kind of just see how like everything is bad for you. So it's like if you're in moderation, it's
but
like
but
just
why
don't
stick
eat it
but why
at
s-
all.
but why stick around when the world's just getting worse? You're just sticking around to be more miserable.
What are you talking about?
Well, you're eating healthy. You're gonna be sticking around longer, and this place is going down the pooper. So it's
It's
like
called when the bowel. Wow, I almost said something really terrible. I'm not gonna say it, but like like in Highlander, there can be only one. So
that'd
if
be a
I'm the only
first.
one left,
It'd be
then
nice
I
for you
get
to
to be
say
happy.
something bad for once. It'd be nice for you to say something bad
I
for
said
once
bad
instead
stuff
of me.
earlier,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna
Just but just
tell
just
on at
with
the
Joe
end.
Biden, you're fine with apparently you're fine with that.
Ah, f that guy, dude.
Anyway,
F that guy. F him. Like just
so okay, so say you meet a woman, if she eats meat, would you be upset with that? Does
no,
she have to be a
I wouldn't.
vegetarian?
I wouldn't be upset with that. I'm not gonna like force my views or opinions on someone or
Uh,
belief system and all that stuff.
as Tekken, as his favorite song goes, She don't eat meat, but she sure likes the bone. Anyway,
Wow. I think we've been recording too long, and it's time to sign off. So
thank you. I was wondering what I have to do. It's 2 hours,
that's
two
it
hours of you
for
ranting against Joe Biden.
possibly
It's
our
like,
longest
geez,
episode of Comic Talk podcast ever.
absolutely.
We had a lot of pent up pandemic talk there, so
Oh yeah, it's been a good month since we've talked, so it's like let's get
right?
back
It's
up and
like last time we talked, everything's fine. What's the
yeah.
worst that could happen? Things are going, okay, you know.
Tekken wasn't washing his hands. He was just walking around all over the place. Now he's washing his hands and staying at home, so it's all good. He's getting himself a motorcycle. You know, he's very excited. He put it right underneath his balcony, so when he's ready, he's gonna jump right over and jump on it, and off he goes to the woods where he's gonna make friends. Where he's gonna make some friends, and yeah, it's all good.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right, so
Ah.
hope everybody out there listening, be
Oh, we got the
safe, stay
fix. Yeah,
inside.
take a whole month to listen to this till we go back next time. This is a long one, so it's like just listen to 15-minute chunks every week, and when you're done, just let us know, and we'll record a new one for you.
But yeah,
Make sure you timestamp,
I'm not time stepping anything.
and just say right Final Fantasy, and then so that people can just get right to the Final Fantasy talk, which is like in hour 4.
It's funny because
Or-
like usually I will re-listen to these and then like type up the segments, so it's like this is gonna take a while to do this one. So I'll just
You know
put
you don't. Animal humping. That's all it is. That's what this
it's
issue
not
is
all
called.
about animal humping.
Animal. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I hope not. There you go. All right. Just say pandemic presidency. There you go. And short form would be PP.
Okay, I'm in
There
the
you go.
podcast now.
You
Every listening
just
listeners, stay
just call it
safe,
just call it just
stay
call it PP.
inside.
That's all you have to do.
If you don't have to, and then if you do, try to find a contactless solution where you don't have to come into contact with people, and then you just like
Yeah.
leave something on your doorstep or something.
Be safe. Think of creative ways to see your friends. There's something called Zoom, and the Skype like Techie and I are doing right now, and all that kind of stuff. And if you're going to have relations, uh, please make sure you wash your hands first and your junk.
All right, so yeah, that's it for the Comic Book Talk podcast for today. So until you see or hear from us again,
Tell
for
your mom not to listen.
now,
Tell your mom not to listen to this podcast.
sign off.